time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, FSN West 2 presents the Dodgers as they take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Pull up a chair for the final game of the series with the Cardinals and the last game of this very brief homestand. Dodgers will leave following the game and go to Washington and Pittsburgh before coming back to play the Mets and the Phillies. As far as the Dodgers are concerned today, Game 3, the so-called rubber game, and a battle of left-handers. Odalis Perez, with a record of 6-5, took one on the chin in St. Louis. He is 2-2 lifetime. And the big left-hander, and I mean big, he's 6'6", and that, of course, would be Mark Mulder. Mulder is 12-5 with the league, and he is a perfect 2-0 with the Dodgers. So it's Mulder and Perez, the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Cardinals lead their division by 8.5, and the Dodgers trailing San Diego by 4. We'll have a lot more coming up right after this.
Baseball. Let's have a hand for all the kids who are taking the field.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. A canopy of blue overhead, and it's pretty down here as well as the Dodgers and Cardinals get ready for the final game of the series and the last game of the very brief homestand. The Dodgers and Cardinals meeting for the last time as we also say goodbye to 4 umpires who is here ready to work today. Sam Holbrook behind the plate. Randy Marsh, Larry Vanover, and Jim Wolf will be working the lines. And as far as the Dodgers and Cardinals are concerned, the Cardinals are 8.5 games in front in their division, and the Dodgers remain 4 games behind San Diego. And we'll keep an eye on what the Padres are doing today with the Reds. For the Cardinals, first of all, it's only half a team, and now you could say a quarter of a team. They can't have Larry Walker, Reggie Sanders, Scott Rowland, and Yadier Molina. And today they've rested some others. So Abraham Nunez is at short. So Taguchi is going to play center for Jim Edmonds. Albert Pujols, the big gun, stays at first base. John Gall is in left field. Mark Grassolanic, a regular at second base. The rookie John Rodriguez will go in right field. Hector Luna will play third base. Einar Diaz will be the catcher, and Mark Mulder on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers against a ball club that's averaging a little more than 5 runs a game is Odalis Perez. Odalis has won 2 in a row. However, he lost to the Cardinals in St. Louis. He went 6 and allowed 4 runs. In his career, Odalis Perez is 2-2 against St. Louis. You may remember that Odalis has had some brilliant games 4 times as a Dodger. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning or even later. And he starts with 2 victories in a row on the heels of 2 no decisions. So the last time that Odalis Perez lost a game would be back in the 5th of July in Colorado. For the Dodgers with the leather behind him, well, we'll have Olmedo Signs at first. Jeff Kent will be at second. Cesar Izturis at short. And Mike Edwards will be at third. Jose Valentin, recalled from Las Vegas, will be in left field. Milton Bradley in center. Jason Repko in right. The rookie, Dioner Navarro, behind the plate. And Odalis Perez on the mound. For Navarro, he had his first multi-hit game yesterday. He's hit 3 for 7 against the Cardinals this year. So the youngster is off at 21, hoping to have a long and successful career. For Jim Tracy, he knows that he's going out on the road, and the ball club has not performed well for him at all on the road. The Dodgers are break even at home. They are 10 games under 500 on the road. But then again, all Tracy has to do is look at the Padres. They've lost 11 of the last 12. They were 33-19 at the end of May, and since then, the Padres are 18-34. The Dodgers also know, going head-to-head against the Padres, they've beaten them 8 out of 12 times. So Dallas Perez working on Abraham Nunez, hitting .321, takes a big curveball at his feet, ball 1. Another interesting thing when you look at the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, in between you'd have Arizona 1 back. The 1-0 pitch is a ground ball backhanded at third by Mike Edwards, who makes the play. Good play by Mike. He's been playing left field of late. In fact, we were told Mike Edwards, but that's Oscar Robles. So we'll have to change. So Robles makes a good play at third, and we have 1 out. And the batter now will be So Taguchi. So Robles dazzles at third on the first play of the day. And now So Taguchi, who has about 5 gold gloves for when he played in Japan. Taguchi playing center field and takes a breaking ball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Taguchi hitting .270 is 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. At the start of the game, the temperature 82 degrees. The strike 1 pitch, Perez deals away, 1-1. Just looking at the Dodgers and the Padres, when they do get together again, it'll be somewhat like an alumni meeting, because 1/3 of the Padre roster ex-Dodgers. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. I mean, we're going to see a San Diego team with David Ross, Dave Roberts, Eric Young, Pedro Estacio, Chan Ho Park, Paul Quantrill, Rudy Cianez, and Alan Ashby. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and down goes Taguchi. So 2 down in the first inning, and now the big man, Albert Pujols, coming up, assuming even larger proportions in a ball club that is minus Jim Edmonds today, and of course for quite a while minus the other 4 players on the DL. So Pujols, who's among the National League top 5 in all 3 Triple Crown categories, hitting .344, and Perez ready and deals, and Pujols takes inside, ball 1. Pujols against Perez, well, if you're a Cardinal, he's worth watching, and Larry Walker is one of those watching avidly. Pujols hitting .667 against Odalis Perez. The left-hander ready, and there's a big chopper to third. On it is Robles, and Oscar throws him out. So much for past numbers. That'll do it for Pujols and the Cardinals. And at the end of half an inning, Cardinals nothing, Dodgers coming up. Cardinals fail to score in the first inning, and the Dodger lineup goes this way for Jim Tracy. Is Torres, Robles, and Bradley. Kent signs at first, and Valentin in left. Navarro, Repko, and Perez. On the mound, big Mark Mulder, 6'6", 215 pounds, a 27-year-old, 12-5, a 17-game winner last year for Oakland. Mark ready and deals as Torres, batting right-handed, takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Mulder from South Holland, Illinois, but makes his home in Scottsdale now, was picked by the A's out of Michigan State. And the pitch in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Is Torres batting .266. He has 2 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Dodgers having lost 5 out of 8, trying to shake themselves today, and as Torres fouls it away, and the count 1-2. The Dodgers are a break-even 13-13 against left-hand starters. Interestingly enough, they have not done well at all at home against left-handers. They are 6-9 here. Mulder, who works from the third base side of the rubber, and the big left-hander without much of a windup, comes with a fastball hit on the ground to the right side to Grassolonic, and Mark makes the play. Grassolonic has been a tower of strength at second base for the Cardinals, with Pujols on one side, Nunez playing short, Luna at third, and Gall, Taguchi, and Rodriguez in the outfield. Behind the plate, Einer, Diaz, and Mark Mulder on the mound. So the batter with 1 away is Oscar Robles. 1 out first inning. Robles followed by Milton Bradley, And Oscar takes a strike and the count 0-1. In looking at Mulder's work against the Dodgers in the past, and Robles has never faced him, the next one is just inside, 1-1. Milton Bradley is hitting .417 against him. Jeff Kent a solid .294 with 2 home runs. The Robles waiting in the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball off the plate, and the count 2-1. So Oscar Robles, who has certainly played exceptionally well for the Dodgers, hitting .296. Mulder ready. Now the 2-1 fastball is low. Ball 3. 1 out first inning. Mulder has won 4 in a row. He hasn't lost a game since June. And on deck, Milton Bradley. You have to go back to a game he lost to Cincinnati on the 22nd of June. He misses inside, and Robles is aboard with the walk. So the Dodgers have a runner at first, 1 out, and Milton Bradley coming up to the plate.
For the Dodgers, center fielder
Bradley hitting .417, 5 for 12 with a home run in the past against Mulder. Now Mulder, among other things, when he beat the Dodgers way back in May, he beat them 4-2, allowing 1 earned run, and he struck out 12. That's his high for the year. And now looking at Bradley hitting right-handed, Robles at first, and Kent in the on-deck circle. Mulder ready. Big guy's first pitch inside, ball 1. Sam Holbrook, the plate umpire. Randy Marsh, Larry Vanover, and Jim Wolf working the line. Milton batting .288, 10 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Mulder, another look at Robles. Now the left-handed back with a pitch swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. Great changeup. When you're as big as Mulder is, 6'6", you expect a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, curve, and slider. But every now and then, with all kneecaps and elbows, here comes that changeup. 1-1, the count to Milton Bradley. Mulder ready. Back he comes. Fastball dribbled up along third. On the chalk. They'll let it roll. It goes foul. And slapping it away, Hector Luna makes sure it doesn't roll back in again. So Bradley, a little squibber that rolled up along the chalk and then decided the issue itself. And the count 1-2. Mark Mulder last year had some injuries that put him on the disabled list for over 2 months, but he is still, in the parlance of the trade, a horse. He usually gives you a lot of innings. He gave the A's 225 innings last year. Tony La Russa would like to see him do certainly that much this year, and he has already worked 135 innings right to date. So Bradley back up to the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Robles, who walked at first, held on by Pujols. Out of a stretch goes Mulder, and the 1-2 pitch is instead a throw to first. Mulder does a pretty good move to first. Base stealers last year were just a break-even 50%. Bottom of the first inning, 1 out, no score. Mulder again eyeballing Robles, back with a pitch that swung on and missed, and down goes Bradley. So not only did Mulder strike out 12 Dodgers when we were in St. Louis, he now has 75 strikeouts, not quite 2-1, so he's been fighting his control a bit. But a big 12-game winner, now working on Jeff Kent, who has worked pretty well against him. Kent hitting .294 with 2 home runs in the past against Mulder, and batting .309 for the year. So Jeff with 19 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Mulder ready, fires, fastball that sinks on the outside corner at the knees. 0-1 the count. For Jeff Kent, playing in his 99th game. So over a long year, he has only missed 5, which is a little remarkable when you realize he's 37. And it is extremely remarkable when you realize he plays second base most of the time. Strike 1 pitch, breaking ball, lifted to right field. Coming in is John Rodriguez. He's there to make the catch, and that's it. So Robles walks, and the Dodgers leave him. And at the end of 1, no score. Second inning, no score in the ball game. The Cardinals will send up Gall, Grassolanic, and Rodriguez. And on the mound, Odalis Perez ready to go to work. John Gall was an 11th round pick by the Cardinals 5 years ago. He grew up 10 miles away from Stanford, so you can imagine it was natural he went to Stanford University. Right-hand batter. Odalis delivers away, ball one. Gall has a cousin, the A's outfielder Eric Burns, though baseball runs in the family. John hitting .333 since being called up. Probably lines a bullet foul into the chairs off third base, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. John Gall, one of several called up this year from Memphis. Gall, along with Mahoney, Rodriguez, and Siebel, along with Hector Luna and Brad Thompson. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to John. Swung on and pulled down the left field line, foul, and the count 1-2. When Gall was at Stanford, he is Stanford's career leader in a whole bunch of offensive numbers, and he has a degree in political science. Right-hand batter, an even 6, about 195 pounds. And the 1-2 pitch is down and away. In his first major league at bat Tuesday against San Diego, he doubled. So John Gall waiting at the plate. Perez looks in to get a sign, and the 2-2 pitch to Gall, breaking ball fouled away. They tell the story of when John Gall played in the minor leagues. He had a Eldorado Cadillac car. He said he wasn't sure how many miles were on it. The odometer said 56,000. He said it could be 56, 156, 256, but it ran well. He swings and lifts a fly ball to left, and here comes Valentin to pick it off. So Jose gets his first chance as Gall flies to left. Well, Gall, having gone to Stanford, is certainly not short in the smarts department. So he decided to use the car as a team promotion. What they would do is they would drive the car around the park. He would sell foam balls for $2 a foam ball. And if you could throw your foam ball into the car, you would then join a small list of people eligible for a drawing, and you would win the car. Up at the plate now is Mark Grassolanic takes a strike. Anyway, the car went around and around, and everybody kept throwing the foam balls. And finally there was a winner, and he wound up using the proceeds to buy an engagement ring for his girlfriend. Strike one pitch to Grassolanic is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. So Mark at the plate with 1 out, hitting .284, right around his lifetime batting average. 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in, and he has done a tremendous job at second base. Leads the league second baseman in fielding, and has had a major part in Cardinal victories. Hits one foul off first, out of play. In the 65 games that the Cardinals have won so far this year, Grassolanic is hitting .313 in the overall victories, and he's hit safely in 44 of the 65. So Tony La Russa very happy with his second baseman. Strike 2 pitch to Mark, fouled away again. As far as battling Odalis Perez, he's hitting .333, 3 for 12. On deck, John Rodriguez. No score, second inning, 1 out. Perez rocks on the rubber. Now Odalis back, and it's swung on and fouled away into the Dodger dugout. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. It is kind of a steamy day here in Los Angeles. Temperature is 82, but all you have to do is gaze out in the outfield. You can see the thunderheads, the big white clouds, and it is very humid here. Of course, for the Cardinals, this is a walk in the park. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Grassolanic, and that's away, ball 1. The last Cardinal homestand, the heat index was 110, and they were saying that had they played on the AstroTurf at Busch, it would be 130. 1-2 the count to Mark Grassolonic. And the pitch on the way is a little ground ball to third. Robles takes the hop and throws him out for the second out. 2 down in the second inning, and John Rodriguez coming up. John Rodriguez is an interesting kid, born in Manhattan, but no one picked him up, no one drafted him. But he had an uncle who knew a police officer who worked security at Yankee Stadium, and early that summer his uncle asked the police officer if he knew any way that his nephew could get an audience with a scout, and the cop said, you know what, I know one way. Rodriguez, left-hand batter, takes low, ball 1. So he got Rodriguez the last invitation to a scout's tryout for draft eligible players at Yankee Stadium. And Rodriguez not only ran 60-yard dashes as he swings and misses, handled a few balls in the outfield, and hit 3 balls in the upper deck to right field in Yankee Stadium, and yet nothing happened, and he went back to playing summer league ball. And then later on, he was playing summer league ball, and a group of scouts were watching him, and one of them said, that kid is kind of familiar. I don't know where I remember him from. Finally, he said, were you at that tryout at Yankee Stadium? John said, yeah. And this scout said, you know what? I've been looking for you. So he offered him a contract to play in the Yankee system. Rodriguez takes a hook off the plate. He spent 8.5 years trying to get back to Yankee Stadium, and he didn't make it. But what he did do, he wound up sticking it out, and here he is with the Cardinals and batting .350. And he's had 3 home runs against some rather impressive people. The 3-1 pitch is swung on and foul back. His 3 home runs, well, the first one he hit was against Ben Sheets, the Milwaukee All-Star. His second home run he hit against Carlos Zambrano of the Cubs. And just for good measure, his third home run, he hit it against Mark Pryor of the Cubs. So John is here, and it goes all the way back to the security officer at Yankee Stadium, and he takes ball 4. So Rodriguez goes to first, and Hector Luna coming up. Hector Luna hitting .258. Another one called up from Memphis. Luna's only had 30 at-bats, 3 runs batted in. Of course, when you look at the Cardinals, and they lost Scott Rowland, and Abraham Nunez has come into his own playing third. Then they lost Reggie Sanders, who broke his leg. Then they lost Larry Walker, and for good measure, their top catcher, Yadier Molina, with a broken hand. The pitch to Luna, foul back. 0-1 the count. So for Tony La Russa and his Cardinals, they have done remarkably well to be 8.5 games in front. Albert Pujols able to carry a ball club as he sits talking to David Eckstein in the Cardinal dugout. Strike 1 pitch coming up. Perez said, Odalis delivers, and that's lifted to left center, but very playable. Bradley says he will take care of it, and does. So they leave Rodriguez, who walked, and that's it. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Boys and girls together here in the sunshine at Dodger Stadium. Remember, the Dodgers hit the road after the game, and they will go to Washington and then Pittsburgh, and they'll be home to play Philadelphia and the New York Mets. Olmedo signs Jose Valentin, and then Diona Navarro. Mulder ready and deals in the pitch a strike, and the count 0-1. Down south, Eric Milton for Cincinnati, Woody Williams for the Padres. Willie Mo Pena hit a home run for Cincinnati. So the Reds lead 1-0, bottom of the second inning. The pitch to Signs a strike, and the count 0-2. It must be a big thrill as Jose Valentin stands in the on-deck circle. Looked like he ruined his year here at Dodger Stadium, but he's come back. 0-2 pitch coming up to Olmedo. Signs, slow curveball, strike 3 call. Signs that deer in the headlights look, and down he goes. So 2 strikeouts for Mulder. And the batter now is Jose Valentin. Valentin missed 78 games. It was May the 3rd when he sprained his right knee. And at the moment when it happened, it didn't look like it was a serious injury, but it sure as heck was. So Valentin, hitting left-handed, looks at a pitch low, ball 1-0. Switch hitter, and every now and then he'll bat right-handed, but as far as Mulder is concerned, he would just as soon hang in there left-handed. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed, 1-1. Valentin playing a dozen games in Las Vegas and certainly used the time well. He hit .400 while he was there. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Jose swings, doesn't get it, in on the hands, and the count 1-2. We mentioned the Dodgers will leave and go to Washington. Dodgers have not been back to Washington. We played a couple of exhibition games in April of 1965. Remember that. Valentin takes low. In fact, in those days, a rarely used ballpark was the District of Columbia Stadium. Dodgers played some exhibitions against the Washington Senators. Now that stadium has been renamed Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium. So the Dodgers go back to Washington for the first time in 40 years. 2-2 the count to Valentin with Navarro on deck. Mulder poised at the moment, now to the windup, turns ready and delivers, and a ground ball by the mound, fielded at shortstop by Nunez, who makes the play, and just like that, 2 down. So Valentin grounding out, and the batter will be Dioner Navarro. Navarro 3 for 7 since called up, and the 21-year-old catcher, for the moment anyway, hitting .429. Bottom of the second, no score. The Reds to repeat, leading San Diego 1-0. Bottom of the second. Meanwhile, and we better keep an eye on them, Arizona leading Chicago 11-2. Now remember, the Diamondbacks are just 1 game behind San Diego. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's outside. The D-backs are probably, at least numerically, the best team in the West on the road. If they win today, they'll be break even on the road. The Dodgers are 10 under. San Diego 10 under. Chopper foul outside of third down the line. Colorado on the road 30 games under 500. It's hardly worth the trip. And the Giants are 5 under, and they're losing in Milwaukee. Well, we'll watch Arizona. Now the 2-1 pitch coming up, and that's swung on and pulled foul. Looked like a slider in on the hands, and he turned on it. And the first thing Deanna does is check with Sam Holbrook. Did I swing at a strike? So Mulder, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The big 6'6" left-hander ready. Into the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Fastball nub to the right of the mound. Mulder picks it up, underhands it to first, and that's that. So the Dodgers go quietly in the second, and at the end of 2, the Cardinals nothing, the Dodgers nothing. Be Einar Diaz hitting .207. He'll be followed by Mark Mulder and then Abraham Nunez. We were talking a moment ago about all the bad records of Western teams on the road. Perez into the windup and deals, and Einar Diaz, the catcher, takes outside, ball 1. The St. Louis Cardinals are the only team in the National League with a winning record on the road. How about that? The only one. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Back comes Perez, and that drops low, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Einar Diaz. Spells that first name E-I-N-A-R, out of Panama. So if he gets to first, he can visit with Olmedo signs. Instead, he drives one to center. Bradley has to backtrack a little, turns and puts it away. So Diaz, a fly ball to center, 1 down, and the batter will be Mark Mulder, the catcher. The catcher makes out, and the pitcher comes up. Mulder has 5 hits, 1 RBI, and has struck out, a little more, 25%. But he does give you that 6'6" strike zone. And the first pitch to Mark Mulder, he bats left-handed and takes low. Ball one. 1-0. No score. Top of the third. Perez into the windup, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. That's inside. Ball two. 2-0 the count. Mulder, who has been so tough on left-hand hitters, and he bats left-handed himself. A 2-0 pitch in for a strike, and the count 2-1. So Dallas locked in, no score here in the third. 1 out, bases empty. Dallas ready, and the 2-1 pitch. Mulder takes a strike on the outside corner. 2-2. On deck, the leadoff man, Abraham Nunez. Mulder, tired of waiting, backs out for the moment. Dallas works from the third base side of the rubber, which to me has always been a point of conversation. Breaking ball is swung on and missed. If you're a left-hand pitcher and you have a left-hand batter, to me it would make more sense if you pitch from the first base side of the rubber. Then you really are throwing that ball at the hitter if you want to make the breaking ball go down and away. But like Mulder, Perez has a comfort zone, and that's at the third base side. And now here come the right-hand batter, the switch hitter really, Abraham Nunez. 2 out in the third. Nunez grounded to third in the first inning, and the pitch, he's way out in front of an off-speed pitch, and the count 0-1. For Nunez, it has been a remarkable turnabout. He was never really relied upon all the years he was with the Pirates, and he was with them 8 years. But he has really found himself here. Oh, sure, he's a utility player, but he takes low and away. When Scott Rowland went down, and remember Rowland was in kind of a brush block with Hee-Sop Choi, and Rowland has just never recovered from the shoulder injuries back in St. Louis. So Nunez took over at third, and he's been a revelation for Tony La Russa. And he breaks his bat. It's a little fly ball that's going to drop in front of Ballantine for a base hit. So with 2 down, a broken bat single is the first hit of the day. And the batter will be So Taguchi.
Center fielder So Taguchi.
So Nunez at first, 2 out, third inning, no score. And Taguchi hitting .269, 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Taguchi from Hyogo Prefecture in Japan, drafted 3 years ago as a free agent. Went to college in Osaka, and the first pitch to So is swung on, hit foul down the right field line, out of play. His wife was a former broadcaster for Japanese TV, speaks fluent English, and so she was invaluable to So, making an adjustment to, well, a new culture, a new language, a new outlook. 0-1 the count to Taguchi. 5'10", about 165. Throw over to first. Nunez back on the bag. 2 down. Nunez does not have a stolen base, though he takes the lead, held on by Olmedo Signs. Taguchi, who had 5 gold gloves in Japan, and Perez delivers, and that's a soft line drive, and up the ladder goes Kent to backhand it. So Taguchi loses a base hit. Nice play by Jeff Kent, going high in the air to handle it. So no runs, 1 hit, a man left. The end of 2.5, no score. No score in the ball game. Bottom of the third. Jason Repko will start it off, and he takes inside, ball 1. Repko hitting .230, 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Mulder into his windup, and the left-hander's next one is in as Repko ran up as if to bunt, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Repko, Perez, and Izturis. And Mulder's 1-1 pitch, slow, and a one-hopper banged into left field. So Repko all over that changeup and singles to left. So that'll bring up Perez. Well, if you look at your clock, you'll see it's about 10 minutes of 2 local time. That means the 1 o'clock time has long passed. 4 o'clock in the East, the so-called deadline for the non-waiver trading story. And if you wonder about the Dodgers, they did not do any business, nor did most of the major league teams. It was extremely quiet. And for the Dodgers, they figure this way. They've already made the moves to strengthen the club as Perez takes ball 1. In other words, Paul DePodesta feels that by bringing up young Jonathan Broxton, catcher Diona Navarro, having Bradley back, and now having Jose Valentin back, that's actually as good or better than what he could have done in the open trade market. Perez fouls a bunt back and the count 1-1. So most teams were very, very quiet. Most teams apparently, like the Dodgers, feeling they have what it takes. No sense mortgaging the franchise and giving up a lot of young players, nor assuming some monumental contract from somebody who might go free agent at the end of the year, which is 2 months away. Throw to first. Repko dives back on the bag. 1-1 to count. The Arizona Diamondbacks picked up, and this is the kind of a deal we've been hearing about. No impact players, no big names. Do you know Buddy Groom? Here's the 1-1 pitch, full swing foul, 1-2. Well, Buddy Groom has been around a while. He's a left-hander used in relief by the Yankees, and you know the shortage of pitchers in the Yankee system. Heck, they picked up Hideo Nomo. Well, the D-backs got veteran left-hand reliever Buddy Groom, and that's the kind of a trade season it's been. 1-2 the count. Mulder ready and delivers. The bunt is down. Nice bunt by Perez with 2 strikes. So he does his job and moves Repko along. Maybe with 2 strikes, Mulder felt that he could make that pitch, but if we have it, we could take another look at the pitch just for the moment as Perez goes back to the dugout. The pitch by Mulder was a high fastball, and Perez squared around, did a very good job to handle it. That, by the way, for Adalis is his 7th sacrifice. That gets him right up there with the other starters, Lowe and Penny. So a runner at second with 1 out, and the batter is the leadoff man, Cesar Izturis, hitting right-handed, rounded out to Grassolonic, who plays him almost up the middle, and the pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Grassolonic moving over to serve 2 purposes, playing Izturis up the middle and at the same time take a step or 2 away at least from Repko. Also, even with the bag at third is Hector Luna. So 1 ball and no strikes to Izturis, hitting .266. Mulder's fastball in for a strike, and the count 1-1. No score, bottom of the 3rd inning, 1 away. The last meeting of the regular season between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Mulder trying to win his 13th. Boy, the Cardinals have quite a staff. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Line the other way. Down the right field line in the corner. So that easily scores Repko. Izturis is going to be waved on. Grassolonic's throw is there to get him. A perfect throw by Mark Grassolonic. So that was a big league relay. However, the Dodgers still get a run and lead 1-0. But I tell you what, I get as much a kick out of watching a big league relay as anything. And that was perfect from John Rodriguez, who had to run the ball down in right field. He turned and hit the cutoff man, Mark Grassolonic, and Grassolonic made a perfect throw from the outfield grass right on the money to Luna, who had the easy tag as Izturis slid in. Wonderful play to watch unless you're wearing a Dodger uniform, but it really was big league all the way. So his first doubles, a great combination play to hold it to 1. And here is Robles, who lines one to left. Coming up and making the catch is John Gall. What was it in school we learned? Omnes Gallia est divisa in partes tres. All Gall is divided into 3 parts. Almost on that catch. 1-0 Dodgers. 1-0 Dodgers, top of the 4th inning. It's Cincinnati 1, San Diego 0, top of the 4th inning. And Albert Pujols at the plate. Perez got him on a ground ball to third in the 1st inning. Left-hander deals and makes it low, ball 1. 1-0 to Albert. One of 11 children and one of 4 ever with 100 and more RBIs in each of his first 4 years in the big league. 2-0 the count. Albert asking to put a new ball in play, and Sam Holbrook does just that. Cardinals have had a wonderful July. They've won 16 out of 25. It now means they have had 10 straight winning months. Go back to the war years. Cardinals had a string of 16 consecutive winning months from 1942 into 44. 2-0 the count to Pujols, batting .344. O'Dallas delivers, and that's ball 3. We mentioned the Cardinals with a winning record on the road. Their record on the road, they are 14 games above 500. Waiting on deck, John Gall. So Pujols draws the walk. Kind of a wise way to pitch, isn't it? Trivia time. Here's the question coming up. Albert Pujols, a .335 career batting average. Who holds the Cardinals' all-time batting average record? Have any idea? Well, we'll give it to you in a little while. But here is John Gall, G-A-L-L. I know the Gall we were talking about is G-A-U-L, but the way he made that catch, he was almost divided into 3 parts. That's right. Went face first, hit the knees, caught the ball and held on to it. John flied to left in the 2nd inning. Those numbers tell you he has waited patiently for a chance. 0-1 the count. Foul ball. By the way, we told you Cincinnati was leading 1-0 in the 4th inning. Canceled that. Rich Aurelia has just hit a 2-run home run, and the Reds are now leading the Padres 3-0, top of the 4th inning. They haven't changed it on the board yet. 3-0 Cincinnati. Arizona, they're beating the Cubs 13-5, bottom of the 8th inning. Ball 1. What Arizona is planning to do, they might even be doing it today. They brought up young Connor Jackson from the minors. They're going to put Chad Tracy in right, and they're going to move Sean Green to center, and Connor Jackson will play first base. 1-2. Jackson had 2 hits yesterday. Foul ball. If you watch a lot of TV, you know the series Jag, J-A-G. One of the actors on Jag is John M. Jackson, and Connor is his son. And he was really tearing up the league when he was playing at Tucson, so Arizona brought him up. 1-2. Sinker missed. 2-2 to Gall. Grassolonic on deck. Dodgers 1, Cardinals 0, top of the 4th. Cardinals averaging almost 5 runs a game of late, and their pitching staff has allowed 3 earned runs or less in 21 of the last 25. Nice save by Navarro. 3-2 the count. Perez has 3 wild pitches, so he needs a little help back there, and Navarro just gave it to him. So he kept the ball down on Pujols and walked him. Jim Colburn watching anxiously as he has gone 3-2 to Gall. And he wants another ball. Pitcher's fingertips become very, very sensitive to a ball. Not only the actual horsehide itself, and of course Derek Lowe talking about sensitive with that severe blister on the base of his right thumb. Runner goes, and it is ball 4. So Perez back-to-back walks, and he wants to talk to his catcher. And Grassolonic, Rodriguez, and Luna coming up. So for Jim Tracy, an anxious moment. Grassolonic grounded to third in the 2nd inning. In looking at Perez numbers, his strikeout to walk ratio has been 3-1. So 2 on, nobody out. You would think a bunt, but then you have the rookie Rodriguez and the seldom used Luna coming up. So Grassolonic is hitting .283, so the Dodger infield is back. Signs does stay up in front of the running. And Grassolonic, a high fly ball to left field. Valentin to the track at the scoreboard. It hits the top of the scoreboard and goes out. A 3-run home run for Mark Grassolonic, and it's 3-1 in favor of the Cardinals. So Valentin, if he plays the outfield for 20 years, will never be able to handle that. It hit right on top of the scoreboard and then kicked up into the stands. And Grassolonic acted like he knew all the way he was going to hit it out. Valentin leaping, but out she went. For Grassolonic, who made that great relay throw, he's now hit 6 home runs. He has 38 runs batted in. And for Perez, he's now allowed 10. So 2 walks, and the first pitch to Grassolonic is hit out. 3-1 St. Louis. Rodriguez shows bunt, strike. So Grud, as they've called him for years, a big swing after some big plays. 3-1 St. Louis. Reds lead San Diego 3-0 in the 4th inning. Roundhouse curveball, 1-1. Now that was the kind of a pitch you'd expect you would throw from the first base side of the rubber, but Perez in his comfort zone working on the third base side. Now the 1-1 pitch. Big breaking ball, 1-2. So Perez has allowed 2 hits, 3 runs. He has kind of moved on the rubber a little bit. He is now just about in the middle of it. And by the time he moves his foot, he's on the first base side. 2-2 the count to John Rodriguez. He's had at least 1 hit in the 10 starts he has made since being called up from Memphis. Foul ball. John has to have a quick bat, because when he holds it, if you're talking golf, his bat is parallel. So after it's, well, you just watch, you'll see what I mean. Now it's parallel to the ground just off his left shoulder. And then he lifts, swings, foul tips it, still alive. 2-2. Movement before swinging the bat. Well, Grassolonic didn't waste any time. David Eckstein, standing to Grassolonic's left, had a big 3-run home run yesterday. Eckstein has 3. Little ground foul. Rodriguez trying to pull a ball that was down and away. and it's still 2-2. One of the quietest bats I think I ever saw. Fellow who played for the Cardinals for a long time, and the Giants and the Yankees. Left-hand hitter Johnny Mize. Mize held his bat, didn't move it, and then swung it. Down you go. Of course, there's always somebody who's going to violate the rule, and all you have to do is look at Gary Sheffield. But by moving, dropping his hands, etc., they talk about a hitch. Rodriguez pays the price. And now Hector Luna fly to center in the second inning. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1, top of the fourth inning. Curveball, good one. 0-1 to Luna. I think Larry Walker is soon to come back. He's had 3 injections of cortisone in the neck. Not much fun there. But Larry's taking it in, but they say he's close to coming back. Little ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Astros to get him. 2 down. Yadier Molina, who is not with the team, he's in St. Louis. But they say Molina is close to coming back. But as far as Scott Rowland, very much of a question mark. And of course, Reggie Sanders is with the team, but Reggie's coming off a broken leg. So he comes, dresses, watches, and they hope heals. And with all losing 4 of their regular players, they just keep rolling along. Einer Diaz fly to center in the third inning. Ground ball wide to third, picked nicely by Robles to get him. However, back-to-back walks, and then Grassolonic is all over the first pitch for Odalis Perez. Boom. 3-run home run, 3-1 St. Louis.
To the first base side for the Coca-Cola Make It Real Challenge.
Cardinals lead 3-1 on the home run by Mark Grassolonic. And now Bradley Kent and Signs testing Mark Mulder. And a high chopper to third. Hector Luna is on it, 1 away. And that'll bring up Jeff Kent. Remember the trivia question? We were talking about Albert Pujols, a .335 career batting average. Who holds the Cardinals' all-time batting average record? Yes, Roger Hornsby. Actually, it's Rogers with an S. I mean, if we're going to use an all-time great, we better get his name right. The other night, they butchered Lou Gehrig's name on the scoreboard here. So we're going to have to take some people to school. Anyway, Rogers was an incredible hitter. Here's Jeff Kent with Olmedo Signs on deck. Right. Kent flied to right in the first inning. Cardinals 3 runs, 2 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 2 hits. Jeff has done very well against all comers and hitting .329 against left. Bradley taking his bat, might be going back to loosen up some more. The Dodgers, among other things, have, well, T-ball just up the runway. You can put balls on the tee and hack them away into a screen. Or if you have enough time, you go down the hall and there's actually a batting machine, etc. Or Bradley could just have taken the bat, gone back to the video room to take a look at some at-bats. 0-2 to Jeff Kent. Went after a low fastball and high throw. Pujols got his foot on the bag. 2 down.
For the
Dodgers have gone head-to-head with San Diego, and they have beaten them 8 out of 12. Dodgers beat San Diego 5 out of 6 here and split 6 in San Diego. When we get into September, The Dodgers and Padres will meet on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of September here, and the 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd of October there. And that should be some finish. Of course, the whole month of September, when the Dodgers come home from a trip to Colorado, they have 3 with the Giants, then the Padres and the Rockies. Dodgers have 6 left with Arizona. Ground ball, and Luna's going to get them all. So 3 ground balls to Hector Luna, and at the end of 4, Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. Ah, my dear, you are stunning in your swimsuit. I just hope that they have covered you with plenty of sunblock. Hold on to your dolly, and we'll hold on to our hats. 5th inning, 3-1 Cardinals. Mark Mulder, Abraham Nunez, and So Taguchi. Mulder made only 7 pitches to retire the side in the 4th, and then swings at the first pitch. 1 away. So, friends, on Friday, August the 12th at 7:40, the Dodgers host the Mets. Kids 14 and under receive a Dodger lunch bag, compliments of Farmer John. So for tickets, be sure to call 1-866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com. 1 away, and here's Abraham Nunez playing shortstop to give David Eckstein a rest. Nunez grounded to third, single to left. Ball 1. David Eckstein getting the day off. He's only 5'6", 170, and Eckstein has played in 99 of the 103 games before today. So a little guy, but very, very strong and durable, and a solid player, hitting .271. His home run killed the Dodgers yesterday. 1-1. Ground ball to his Turris. 2 down in the 5th inning. And So Taguchi coming up.
Center fielder So Taguchi.
Cardinals had back-to-back walks in the 4th inning. Perez tried to get ahead of Grassolonic, and Mark was waiting and hit the first pitch for a 3-run home run. It actually hit on top of the scoreboard and kicked on up into the bleachers. Curveball strike. The Dodger run, Repko singled, was sacrificed to second. His Turris doubled Repko home, and then a great defensive play. The relay from John Rodriguez to Mark Grassolonic, and Grassolonic was absolutely perfect with the throw. Hector Luna had it waiting for his Turris. That was a huge play. Though his Turris drives in the run, but pays the price. The brilliance of Grassolonic's throw. Here it is again, in case you missed it. There's Rodriguez. Now here's Grassolonic, and look at this. Right on the money and the tag. And then Mark comes up, and it's a 3-run home run. Chopper to Odalis. So he has a nice easy inning, just like Mulder. At the end of 4.5 innings, Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. 3-1 St. Louis, bottom of the 5th inning. Each pitcher has had an easy last inning out. Mulder made 7 pitches in the 4th. Perez made 8 pitches for the 2nd time in the 5th. Now bottom of the 5th, Valentin, Navarro, and Repko. Cardinals 3 and the Dodgers 1. You know, Mark Mulder, a natural athlete. I mean, first of all, the Lord blessed him, 6'6", 215. They say when he was 3 years old, you know, you give a kid a plastic bat and a wiffle ball. 1 and 2. His father said that Mark was 3. He pitched the wiffle ball to him, and Mark hit it clear over the roof of their house in Illinois. And then 6 months later, 3 years old, he successfully water skied behind his parents' boat. 1-2. He's hanging 10. And it's banged up the middle. So Valentine, a base hit to center, marking his return. And the batter will be Diona Navarro, who'll hit back to the box.
Now batting, catcher.
A couple of
Diona
other notes
Navarro.
about Mulder and his athletic prowess. We were talking about 3 years old, hitting him over the roof of the house and water skiing. When he was 9, he was jumping ramps, flying 100 feet in the air with the water skis. And then his father decided, well, I'm going to break him in with golf. And his father took him out to play golf, and his son beat him. That's Mark Mulder. Fouled away. 0-1. Diona Navarro hit back to the box in the second inning. 3 runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Reds lead San Diego 3-0, top of the 5th. Arizona beat the Cubs. And you know, we're all talking constantly about the Dodgers and San Diego. But look out for Arizona. The Dodgers have handled San Diego, but not Arizona. Time. Arizona came in here and beat the Dodgers 5 out of 6. Though Arizona has beaten the Dodgers 7 of their 12 meetings. And Arizona winning today has a shot at getting into first place. 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2 to Diona Navarro. I was asking Jaime Jarrín, our resident expert on all things Hispanic, and he said he had never heard the name Diona until Navarro came into the league. In the dirt. Nice save by Einar Diaz. Mulder, who struck out 12 Dodgers in St. Louis, has just 2 strikeouts so far today, and he's made 53 pitches. 1-2. Foul back. Navarro, in his 8 at-bats in the big leagues, has struck out twice. It's 3-1 St. Louis. Bottom of the 5th inning. Young man from Caracas in Venezuela, Diona Navarro. They call him Pajito. Reminds a lot of people of Pudge Rodriguez. He's 5'10" and 190. When he was 17, Diona married a young girl 4 years older, and she developed an aneurysm and almost died, so he matured in a hurry. His wife had a 3-year-old, so he was a father at 17. So he is very, very mature. He's been through the mill. Mark Mulder with Valentine at first, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. Breaking ball inside. Navarro last year had a brief look with the Yankees. He was 3 for 7, and he is 3 for 7 for the Dodgers as he checks with Glenn Hoffman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wow, good save by Diaz. That could have been a wild pitch. 3-2. Mulder, by the way, is vulnerable to the wild pitch. He has a half a dozen, and Diaz just saved him from another one. So let's see what the Dodgers do with young Navarro. They're down 3-1. Will they run Valentin with nobody out? On deck is Jason Repko. Valentin goes, and it's fouled away. For Deanna Navarro, he can always tell his grandchildren that once upon a time I was with the Yankees and they traded me for Randy Johnson. Because there were other people involved at the time. Javier Vasquez, Brad Halsey, but it'll do just to say they traded me for Johnson. 3-2 to Deanna. There goes Valentin on ball 4. That was a big at-bat by a 21-year-old who fought a 12-game winner and won. So the Dodgers now have the tying runs aboard with nobody out. Mulder made only 7 pitches for the entire 4th inning, and Navarro made him work. Navarro's at bat, believe it or not, for a 21-year-old, 12 pitches. He fought them all off and got a walk. So that was a great at bat. More troubles in San Diego. The city is about ready to slide across the border. Adam Dunn has just hit a grand slam home run, and the Reds have the Padres down 7-0. Arizona won. So Arizona will go into first place. Here's Repko. 2 on, nobody out. Low, ball 1. So we told you earlier that Mulder's strikeout to walk ratio is not that good. It's not 2-1. And with a couple of walks today, he's walked 45. So even though he has won 12, he has struggled with his control. And he's in a lot of trouble now. 2-0 the count. So Mulder gave up the single to Valentin, made 12 pitches to Navarro, and walked him. And now he's behind to Repko. 2 balls and no strikes. And a high fly ball, but very playable. Rodriguez is there. Tagging up is Valentin. On his way over to third. The relay is gotten away from Nunez. The Dodgers are going to get a gift run, and Valentin scores. Abraham Nunez was going to cut the throw off and instead failed to come up with it. And he will draw a huge error, and Valentin will score. Rodriguez gunned the ball in, and Nunez was there to play it on a bounce, and it just got away, went down the left field line, and Valentin kept on coming. Not only that, it allowed Navarro to go to second. So a big error, and the Cardinal lead is 3-2. So Repko a fly ball to right, but the error by Nunez gives the Dodgers a big gift. So 1 out. Here's Odalis Perez. Hector Luna playing sideways at third. And Perez punches one to Nunez. He has to go to first in time. And with the ball hit ahead of him, Navarro had to hold at second. So 2 down. Repko getting a little water on this hot Sunday afternoon, but I'll tell you about hot. It's Tony La Russa. His ball club just blew Friday night's game. They had so many men on base. They left 10 men in the first 6 innings Friday night and then lost. settled down yesterday to win, and now they have allowed the Dodgers to get close. 3-2. Tying run at second, and here is Izturis, who knocked in a run in the third inning. Ball one. So the base on balls figures prominently. Odalis Perez walked Pujols and Gall in the fourth inning, and Grassolanic hit a home run. A base hit and a walk to Navarro, and the Dodgers get a gift here in the fifth. Foul back. 1-1. 3 runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Izturis hitting .268. 27 runs batted in. Izturis hitting about .300 as a right-hand batter. Ball 2. Fastball, drive him off the plate, but not that hard. The gun says 87. And for Mulder, who made only 7 pitches in the fourth, who made 12 pitches to Navarro in that one at bat here, now making his 20th pitch of the inning. 2-1. Ball 3. The Mulder on the wild side all of a sudden. Against Kansas City, the end of May, he walked 5. Though he's on the edge of walking his third, and waiting his turn on deck, Oscar Robles. 3-1. Little roller, tough play, barehanded by Luna. The throw is late. So Hector Luna made a good play, but Izturis, even batting right-handed, was able to run it out. So Izturis now 2 for 3. There's Hector making the play, but Izturis like a flash down the line. So now 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 Cardinals, and Oscar Robles, who walked in the first inning, and then Robles hit a sinking line drive to left. John Gall came in, went down on his knees head first to smother it for the out. So first and third, 2 out. Here's Robles. A strike. 0-1. Oscar hitting .294. Dodger scout Mike Brito was giving us a scouting report on Oscar Robles when he was playing in Mexico. 1-1. Good save. Remember, Mulder has a half a dozen wild pitches. Anyway, Brito's report was right on the money. Mike said, I think he can become a good utility man at the major league level, and he's been even more than that. 1-1. Comebacker, and Mulder has it. Gets it over to Pujols with a little anger on it. So the Dodgers get 1, and it's a gift. And at the end of 5, 3-2. To the 6th inning, Cardinals 3, Dodgers 2. Pujols, Gall, and Grassolanic in that order. Pujols grounded to third, walked on 4 pitches, came home on Grassolanic's home run. Ball 1. Pujols came into this game 8 for 12, 4 home runs, and 11 runs batted in against Perez. So you can understand why he walked him. Curveball. 1-1. Albert hitting .344, 28 home runs, 84 runs batted in. Really asked to carry the club offensively today. Jim Edmonds is rested. 4 of the regulars are on the DL, so it's up to Albert. Ball 2. So you thought when Odalis Perez pitched around him in the 4th inning that made some sense, but then he walked the rookie Gall, and then the home run by Grassolani. 2-1. Ball 3. Pujols, we mentioned, is the youngest of 11 children. There was no mother in that family. She had long ago left, and the father was gone for a long time for work, so he really was raised by his grandmother and grandfather. Hard ground ball, base hit. So for Perez, he's got to be saying, well, at least I kept it in the park. So Pujols, a single to left, and John Gall coming up. So here's Gall, the pride of Stanford, lives in Portola Valley in California. John, 27 years old. And lifting a fly ball to right center. Repko is there. So Gall didn't hang around. Pujols at first, 1 out, and Mark Grassolani coming up. Grassolani came up on the heels of back-to-back walks, and he wasn't about to let Perez get out in front. He hit his first pitch, going to hit the top of the scoreboard and bounce on up into the stands. For Grassolani, his 6th home run of the year, hitting 38 RBIs. It was the 10th home run allowed by Odalis Perez. So they match up again. Grassolani hitting .285. Grassolani, 35 years old. That's right. He played with the Dodgers starting in 1998 through 2002, then moved on to the Cubs, and now here he is with the Cardinals. Duaner Sanchez begins to throw in the Dodger bullpen. And that's whacked to left. Going back on the ball is Valentin to pick it off on the track. And back to first goes Pujols. The Grassolani wasn't fooled. Hits it hard, but lines out to left. John Rodriguez coming up. Walked and struck out. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, Bradley, Kent, and Signs, the heart of the lineup. Rodriguez, born in Manhattan in New York, grew up a big Yankee fan. Earlier we told you the story about his uncle and the security officer and how he was eventually found. Went with the Yankee rookie team in 1997, but never made it to the big leagues. 8.5 years, and finally called up this year. Chopper foul, 0-1. Went to Brandeis High School in Manhattan, and those who are with him say he's about as New York as you can get. Likes to play the game like former Yankee outfielder Paul O'Neill. That was his role model growing up. 0-1. Hector Luna on deck. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 2, 6th inning. Cincinnati 7, San Diego nothing, and Arizona beat the Cubs 13-6. Chopper to first, fair ball, Signs on the bag, and that's that. A base hit and nothing else, and at the end of 5.5, 3-2 St. 3-2 in favor of St. Louis, with Milton Bradley, Jeff Kent, and Olmedo Signs. Mulder is coming off his toughest inning. He made 24 pitches in the 5th inning, and we'll see if that affects him now here in the 6th. Ball 1. Bradley struck out, grounded to third. Milden batting .285. Ball 2. And ball 3. So Mulder now one pitch away from putting the tying run aboard on a walk. And a restless Tony La Russa hollering out to Sam Holbrook. I think Tony thinks the plate umpire is pinching Mulder a little bit. And there's ball 4. So Mark Mulder having problems with his control. Tying run is on, nobody out. He had that 5-walk game against Kansas City, and 3 walks has been his high otherwise. Well, he has walked 3 today. So Jeff Kent flied to right, grounded to third. Checking in, batting .308. Kent with 2 home runs in the past against Mulder. Flied to right, grounded out today. And ball 1. That's 5 in a row he's missed. So the big left-hander is struggling. Although pitching coach Dave Duncan has not made a trip to the mound. Dave's still there, wearing the sunglasses in front of Tony La Russa. Fouled away, 1-1. We're talking about Mulder and his athletic prowess as a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. They say he can play just about any sport at a level most people can't approach, whether it's basketball or golf, pool, tennis, bowling. Played basketball against Donovan McNabb and bowled and broke 200 not long after he picked up his first bowling ball. Foul ball. 1-2 off speed, and Kent really turned on it. So Jeff, who went to Cal, facing Mulder, who went to Michigan State on a baseball scholarship. 1-2. 3-2 Cardinals. 6th inning, Bradley at first. 2-2. To repeat, Cincinnati 7, San Diego nothing, bottom of the 6th. And now, more importantly, Arizona pounded the Cubs 13-6. Two and 2. Boy, he's fighting it. 3-2 the count. So Mulder suddenly can't throw strikes. He is coming up to his 80th pitch. We'll see what the Dodgers do with Bradley, the tying run. Nobody out. Bradley goes late, and it is popped in the air to right down the line. Rodriguez comes over, but it's back in the stands, out of play. So still 3-2 to Jeff Kent. Waiting his turn on deck, Olmedo signs. Dodgers got a run in the 4th inning. Make it the 3rd inning. Repko singled and his tourist doubled him home. Then they got a run in the 5th inning on the error by Nunez, just trying to cut off a throw from right field. Bradley goes, and a chopper foul the other way down the left field line. So that accounts for the 2 Dodger runs. Cardinals had walks to Pujols and Gall, and a first pitch home run by Mark Grassolanic. For Grassolanic, his 6th home run of the year. So Bradley's been going on each 3-2 pitch, and you have to figure he's going to go again. But first, Mulder decides, I'll try to take a step away from you. So Milton, the tying run at 6. 3-2 Cardinals. Nobody out. Jeff with 72 runs batted in. There goes Bradley, and a chopper to short. They get one, and a high throw, but they're going to get 2. So Jeff Kent lost control of the bat and hits into a double play. 6-4-3. So Nunez, Grassolonic, and Pujols get together. Albert had to go up on the ladder and then come down on the bag. So Olmedo signs, coming up with the bases empty. Struck out, grounded to third, 0 for 2. So Kent grounding into that double play. That's the 14th double play he has grounded into, most on the Dodger squad. But of course he comes up there most of the time with people on base, and the majority of times he knocks them home. Three balls and no strikes, so he's back fighting it again. And of course Signs has some power. There's nothing automatic taking 3-0, and that's over his head. So Mulder is not out of the woods yet, and Dave Duncan finally makes an appearance. The way he was pitching, it was a matter of time, and Duncan going out now trying to help him out. So outside of that 5-walk game against Kansas City back in the 20th of May, this is his toughest game fighting his control.
How about it? Left fielder Jose Valentin.
So Jose Valentin will check in. One other note, talking about Jeff Kent grounding into a double play. Last year in the American League, Mark Mulder induced 37 ground ball double plays. That was first in the league. Ball 1 to Valentin. That seems to be the way Mulder's been pitching the last 3 innings, always behind. Valentin grounded to short, single to center, scored a run when Nunez messed up the cutoff play. And he's behind again, 2-0. So that's maddening for Duncan, not to mention what it's doing to La Russa. 2-0 to Jose Valentin. 3-2 Cardinals. 2 out, 6th inning. Signs at first. And he's behind, 3-0. Mulder last year was 6th in the American League in walks. So 3-0. Now Valentin's another guy who could hit one out. 3-0 strike. For Mulder, really fighting it. He's had 7 3-ball counts and he has walked 4. Let's see what he does on this 3-ball count. And that's hammered to center, base hit. Signs to second, he will hold. Taguchi gets that thing in quickly to Nunez. So Valentin comes back and he's 2 for 3. And remember what Paul DePodesta said about the fact the Dodgers did not do any business today. Paul felt that with Jose Valentin coming back, with Bradley back, and with the 2 kids, Jonathan Broxton out of the pen and Diona Navarro behind the plate, he feels that's better than anything he could have gone out and gotten. Meanwhile, right-hander Al Reyes begins to throw in the Cardinal pen. Mulder is due up third in the 7th inning. And here's Navarro, who really worked Mulder over in the 5th inning. Ball 1. Navarro's at bat in the 5th inning. It took 12 pitches and he walked. In the 2nd inning, Deona hit back to the box. So 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 Cardinals. Bottom of the 6th inning. So Mulder is really staggering here. And that double play ball of tremendous help. Off the plate. So he walked Bradley. Went 3-2 to Kent, and he hit into a double play. Came right back on 4 and walked Signs. Went 3-1 to Valentine, who singled. And this will be his 24th pitch. So you get the idea he's not going to be around very long, even if he gets out of the inning. Breaking ball, ball 3. So he can't buy a strike. And on deck, Jason Repko, and Reyes in the pen might be getting ready to face Repko. 3-0 to Deona Navarro. Signs at second, Valentine at first, 2 out. Ball 4, and he's not close. So let's see, all eyes in the St. Louis dugout watching La Russa and Duncan. Mulder can't throw a strike. Repko is coming up. And now Jason turns and walks away. And the Dodgers are going to Antonio Perez. So Antonio Perez will hit for Jason Repko. Repko was 1 for 2. So now let's see. Here comes La Russa. So he's had Al Reyes down in the pen. And the skipper heading for the mound. And Reyes will be coming in. So a wild Mark Mulder walked 3 in the inning, 5 in the game. And we'll be back right after this. Trying to hang on to a 3-2 lead, but the wildness of Mark Mulder has loaded the bases. In matching up the 2 pitchers, you can see the 5 walks for Mark Mulder and the 3 walks for Perez. A big difference. As far as the hits are concerned, Mulder has given up 5, so add 1 that you see there, and Perez has given up 3 hits. So Mulder goes out and very much up in the air. Mark could win if he's lucky, 2 out. He could lose, or he could have nothing to do with it. Now, after Antonio Perez came out, when Reyes was called in, the Dodgers switch, and Ricky Leday will now bat. So Ricky Leday against Al Reyes. You may or may not remember, because he was not here that long, but Al Reyes was with the Dodgers for 2 different seasons. Briefly for 6 games in 2000, and then 2001 he was in 19 games. Ball 1 to Ricky Leday. Leday hitting .277, hit a 3-run home run the other night, his 3rd. He has 20 RBIs and 2 grand slams in his career. Reyes, a 34-year-old from the Dominican Republic, originally signed by the Expos. And that's high, ball 2. And of course, the old story, and every baseball man in the business will bemoan the fact there is no defense against a base on balls. So the Dodgers have already received 3, and here's Leday with a 2-0 count. Signs, Valentine, and Navarro out there. 2 out, 3-2 Cardinals. 2-0 to Ricky. And that's a strike. 2-1. Al Reyes signed by the Expos way back in 1988. He's been with the Brewers, the Orioles, the Dodgers, the Pirates, the Yankees briefly, and now the Cardinals. Mulder, trying to win his 13th today, had won 4 in a row. Hadn't lost since the 22nd of June, but he hasn't been as wild since the 20th of May. So Reyes trying to bail him out here. Reyes with a record of 3-2. So signs Valentine in the barrel. 2-1 the count to Ricky. And foul back. 2-2. Reyes hits him on the hands. Again, Cincinnati 7, San Diego nothing. Bottom of the 7th. Arizona with a chance to move into first place. Beat Chicago 13-6. Arizona is the one team of the 3 doing well enough on the road to boast that they are .500 on the road. The Dodgers and the Padres are each 10 games under .500 on the road. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Ball 3. So we have gone as far as we can go. Mulder has already gotten off the train, but his record is still very much up in the air. La Russa and Duncan sweating it out. The Dodgers have received 3 walks in the inning, and Reyes has gone 3-2 on Leday. Crowd on its feet now. 3-2 to Ricky. Got him. So Leday off the bench to strike out. Reyes wins that battle. The Dodgers wind up leaving 3. And at the end of 6, 3-2 Cardinals. Well, it was in a sense much ado about nothing, a tempest in a teapot, but in the bottom of the 6th inning, it took 31 pitches for Mulder and Reyes, and they finally got the job done as Leday struck out, and Ricky now stays in the game in right field. Dodgers using up 3 batters in the inning, Repko, Perez, and then finally Leday. So Adalis Perez working on Luna, Diaz, and then the pitcher Reyes. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 2, 7th inning. Hector Luna flied to center, grounded to short. 2-0. So Mark Mulder for the 2nd time this year walks 5, and this time has to come out. That's a strike. 2-1. Hector Luna playing 3rd. Nunez playing short, and next time getting a rest. 2-1. Popped up, going out for it as his tourist looking for help. Bradley is coming at a better angle to make the play. So Milton, as any center fielder, is the captain out there. He's in charge. So 1 out. And now Einar Diaz coming up. Diaz fly to center, grounded to 3rd. The pitcher Al Reyes on deck. That's a strike. 0-1. Diaz, as we mentioned earlier, from Panama, and those traveling with the Cardinals say has a delightful personality. Always seems happy. 0-2. .90 pitches made by Adalis. One thing you know with Diaz, he does not walk very often. He's up there to hack. He's walked once in about 90 plate appearances. And this time it pays off on a no ball, 2-strike count. So Diaz, a 1-out single. So Reyes coming up in what you assume is a bunt situation.
Pitcher, Al Reyes.
So Al Reyes coming up. Reyes, when he left the Dodgers, went to Nashville, and we haven't seen him until today. Nashville, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Yankees, Durham, Memphis, and up there to bunt. Did he? Yes, he did. Strike one. Now, here comes Jose Aquindo out of the coaching box to say something to Reyes. Jose Aquindo, 1 year for the Cardinals, played all 9 positions. He was really valuable, and he's very valuable now as a third base coach. Jose, 42 years old. It was back in 1988. He became the first National League player since Eugene Paulette way back in 1918 to appear at all 9 positions the same season. Jose had been a catcher in high school. And in that year, 1988, when he played all the positions, he was even a pitcher and was the losing pitcher in a 19-inning game against Atlanta. 1-1 to Reyes. Bunt foul. 1-2. Reyes has only had one previous at bat. He walked once, and then in the official at bat he struck out. 1-2 to Reyes. Diaz at first, 1 out in the 7th. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 2. Since 1900, these two clubs have been banging heads. Cardinals have won 938, and the Dodgers have won 921. 1-2. Shows bunt. Curveball bunted. Fielded by Navarro. The only play is to first. Boy, that was 2 things to think about. The easier of the 2 pitches, fastball and curve, the easier to bunt is the curve. But that was a dandy breaking ball down and in, and right down there, and somehow he got the bat on it. That was a great bunt. A tough pitch, and somehow Reyes made the play. So we'll see just how important that is. Diaz at second with 2 out, and Abraham Nunez coming up. Boy, that was a tough pitch to bunt. So Diaz at second, 3-2 Cardinals. Nunez twice grounded out and singled, 1 for 3. He'd like to make up for mishandling the cutoff play. That was in the 5th inning. He went to cut it off. It kicked away from him, angled way down the line off third, and it allowed Valentin to score. 0-1 to Abraham, hitting .321. That was almost the same pitch that Reyes bunted successfully, and Nunez fouls it off. Abraham started with Toronto 11 years ago. Boy, he has been a blessing to La Russa and the Cardinals when they lost Scott Rowland. Rowland played about half the games for the Cardinals. That's all. They played 104. Roland played in 56 games. One and two. Two and two. They rave about the work habits of Abraham Nunez. In fact, at one time, former Atlanta infielder Paul Runge, in talking about Nunez, just watching him, he said Nunez takes infield practice like it's the World Series. Great work habits. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at second. Cardinals lead 3-2. Ball 3. Perez pitching very carefully. Walked 2 back-to-back in the 4th inning, and that's when Grassolonic homered. Otherwise, he's had pretty good control. He's made 100 pitches. And Juaner Sanchez back of him in the pen. Perez due to lead off the bottom of the 7th. 3-2. And in the dirt, nice save for Navarro. So Nunez draws a walk, and that will bring up So Taguchi.
How about it? Center fielder So Taguchi.
Jim Tracy has decided that's enough. I'm going to bring in Sanchez. He was hoping, like every manager, that Perez could get through the inning and then he could bat for him. But he's not going to wait for Perez to get through the inning and have the game get away. So Adalis coming out, Sanchez coming in, and we'll be back. Cardinals have 2 on with 2 out in the 7th inning. Adalis Perez senders the ball to right-handed Juaner Sanchez, and Tony La Russa decides, okay, it's time for me to play a card, and Jim Edmonds is coming off the bench to face Juaner Sanchez. Edmonds getting a chance to rest today. He has only appeared as a pinch hitter 4 times all year, because usually he's in the lineup, and he is just 1 for 4. Jim, a big home run yesterday, though he has 19. Hitting for Taguchi, and then 1 Gold Glove can replace another. Taguchi with a set of them from Japan. Sanchez frozen in that set position. 0-1 to Edmonds. Edmonds does not have an at-bat in the past against Juaner Sanchez. In the 7th inning of Friday night, they did not face each other. So you have Diaz at second, Nunez at first, and here's Edmonds. 19 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Sanchez has been particularly effective against the Cardinals. And that's going to be whacked to right. Racing over is Ledet, but he's going to have to race it to the track. 1 run is in. Stopping at third is Nunez. So Edmonds off the bench to knock in a big run, and the Cardinals lead 4-2. Would you believe that is the first run against Juaner Sanchez in over 9 innings against the Cardinals? But it comes at a tough time as Edmonds doubles into right field. So Diaz scores, and the walk to Nunez sends him to third. The run is charged to Perez, so he goes out losing 4-2. And with second and third, you know they're not going to pitch to Pujols, so they'll walk Albert. So Sanchez gave up the double to Edmonds, and now the walk to Pujols. John Gall is due up next, and Gall will give way, I think, to John Mabry. So John Mabry, the veteran, will be coming up to bat for Gall. So La Russa that has a full deck and uses all the cards, and no pun intended. Even though he lost 4 regulars, he wheels and deals, and he has the talent to do it. He began the day 8.5 games in front of Houston. And Houston lost to the Mets. Jim Colburn out to talk to Duaner Sanchez. John Mabry and Sanchez, they have not faced each other. So John has been around a while, basically line drive type hitter, and a good one. John out of Wilmington, Delaware, and came up to the big leagues with the Cardinals in '94. And then he left St. Louis in '99. 2 years with the Mariners, a year with the Padres, the same with the Marlins, then the Phillies, then the A's, then back to the Mariners, and now back to the Cardinals. So he's really bounced around. Though he's up there with Pujols, Edmonds, and Nunez. 2 out and a run in, 4-2 St. Louis. Off speed, ball 1. Mabry hit .296 last year. Hit his high years ago. He hit .307 for the Cardinals, but that was 10 years ago. 1-1. When he was with the Cardinals back in those years, '94 through '98, whenever the crowd heard his name in the starting lineup, they would boo because he was playing instead of Mark McGwire. Tough role to fill. Ground ball to first. Signs will do it himself. So the Cardinals get 1 and leave 3. And at the end of 6.5, Cardinals 4, Dodgers 2. High-spirited crowd, bottom of the 7th. The Cardinals, John Rodriguez moves to left. John Mabry stays in the game in right. And Jim Edmonds, who just came in, is in center. And Hee-Seop Choi batting for Duaner Sanchez. Choi hitting .245, facing Al Reyes. And Reyes is behind 2-0. Reyes went all the way with the bases loaded against Ricky Leday and struck him out in relief of Mark Mulder. Now he's on his own. And he's behind 3-0. Choi has walked 25 times and struck out a little more than twice that much. That's a strike. 3-1. Looking at Al Reyes' work this year, his strikeout to walk ratio is a hair better than 3-1. And a strike. Come back, Hee-Seop. Jim Tracy off the bench and hollering at the base of the steps. Choi picks up the bat. Little delayed call, I guess, from Sam Holbrook. So a full count. Now you can go to first. So the Dodgers have 5 hits. They've received 6 walks. And you can see a lot of offers. Is Turris with a couple of hits and a run batted in. Jose Valentin has returned big time. 2 hits, scored a run. And Repko had a base hit to drive in a run in the 3rd inning. So here is his Turris. Grounded out, double to right, and singled. And a breaking ball for ball 1. You know, 5 of the last 6 Dodger hitters have drawn 3-ball counts. And of the 5, 3 of them walked. 1 struck out and 1 hit into a double play. And there's ball 2. A bounce throw to Pujols, who did a great job to stay that. Einar Diaz almost throwing it away. Two big men over there with Choi and Pujols. Remember, Choi had a collision with Scott Rowland, and Rowland hasn't been able to play. So now two big men unintentionally collide. So Reyes came in after all the walks by Mulder, went 3-2 and struck out Leday. Then he goes 3-1 and walks Choi, and now he's behind 2-0 to his tourist. Strike. So the Dodgers 6 walks and 5 hits, but only 2 runs. They've left 5 men in the last 2 innings. Two and 1. And that's a strike. 2-2. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in San Diego, and it's all Cincinnati. The Reds lead 7-0. Adam Dunn, who was so quiet in 4 games here, he had 1 single to left field. He hit a grand slam home run today. He's hit a couple of home runs against the Padres. 2-2. So down goes his tourist. So Reyes picks up his 2nd strikeout. Mulder was fighting it so much. In 5 2/3 innings, Big Mark had only 2 strikeouts while walking 5. So Reyes strikes out 2 while walking 1. And here is Robles. Walk, lined out to left, hit hard back to the box in the 5th inning. Nice play by Mulder to end the inning. That's a strike. Robles with Bradley hitting back of him. It's 4-2 Cardinals. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 out. Aesop Choi at first. One and 1. The Diaz setting on the outside part of the plate. Reyes tried to hit the glove and couldn't do it. Diaz kind of looked over to see who's on deck and then looked over to La Russa. See where he sets up this time. And he's going to stay a little bit on the outside again. And the pitch inside and in the dirt. Nice play by Diaz. And because it was in the dirt, they'll put a new ball in play. So Einar Diaz, who is set up on the outside, had to short hop the ball on the inside. For Tony La Russa, he has not had what you'd call a pitching clinic today. 2-1 to Robles. There goes the runner on a high fly ball to right center. It's playable. Mabry and Edmonds. It'll be Edmonds, the Gold Glove, making the catch. So Robles, a fly ball to right center. 2 down. And the batter will be Milton Bradley.
Center fielder, Milton Bradley.
Bradley, batting right-handed against Mulder, had struck out, grounded out, and walked. Now turning around to hit left-handed. His numbers, he's hitting 300 left and less than 250 right. And of course, his last at bat in Arizona the end of May, when he hurt the ring finger on his right hand, he was hitting left-handed. Fouled away off third, out of play. Milton batting .285, 10 home runs, 30 runs batted in. On a humid Sunday, to look out and see the line of puffy white clouds, a thick line of white. That's where the humidity's coming from. 0-1. Look out. So Bradley loses his bat while swinging and missing. Remember, Jeff Kent lost his bat when he hit into a double play, and the fan will give Milton back his gamer. So with rosin and batting gloves and everything else combined, still lose control of the bat. 0-2 to Milton. Hit down the line, foul, out of play. Still 0-2. So Al Reyes working Milton Bradley. Bradley 1 for 2 in the past against Reyes. And Jeff Kent on deck. 2 out, 7th inning, 4-2 Cardinals. One and two. So Alberto Reyes, fastball, slider, and a changeup. One and two. Al Reyes had Tommy John surgery, one of the hundreds, and down goes Bradley. So Reyes strikes out Bradley. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left at the end of 7, 4-2 St. Louis.
Your attention, please.
We have reached the 8th inning, and it is 4-2 in favor of St. Louis. The Dodgers dip into the bullpen for Steve Schmoll, and he'll be pitching to Grassolonic, Rodriguez, and Luna. Steve 2-0 in his 25th game. Grassolonic has had 2 big parts of this game. He hit a 3-run home run in the 4th inning after making that great relay throw to nail the Dodgers in the 3rd, and now he's at it again, and he's going to have himself a double. So the former Dodger Mark Grassolonic comes up with his 20th double. And Schmoll in trouble as Rodriguez, Luna, and Diaz coming up. Cardinals have 4 runs on 6 hits. Dodgers have 2 runs on 5 hits, and they've received 6 walks. We have the paid attendance. It is 44,543. 44543. Ball 1. So Schmoll with a runner at second, nobody out. Rodriguez walked, struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. One and one. They're in the ninth inning in San Diego. Cincinnati 7, San Diego 1. Arizona beat Chicago 13-6, and the D-backs can move into first place. One and one. Now a bunt, and a good one. So Robles makes the play. Grassolonic moves over to third. So Rodriguez follows orders, and the batter will be Hector Luna. Luna flied to center, grounded to short, flied to center again. And of course, with the infield up, La Russa would be very happy if he flied to center again. So Grassolonic at third, 1 out, 4-2 Cardinals. Oh and 1. Luna hitting .235, 3 runs batted in. He does not have a scoring fly ball so far this year. Pitch out. Dodgers thinking maybe they would ask Luna to squeeze. He has 1 sacrifice this year. Well, Jose Aquindo over to talk to Grassolonic. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grassolonic's coming. The squeeze is down. The run is in. The out at first. So the Cardinals had 6 successful squeezes. They blew one here the other night, Friday night, but it works today. So Luna squeezing in Grassolonic.
Einar Diaz.
And Einar Diaz will be coming up. So Luna squeezes it in. 5-2 Birds. Not even close for a play. Grassolonic trotting home. It's a great play when it works, that's for sure. Dodgers had pitched out, remember, on 1 pitch, so they were thinking about it, and they got burned anyway. Right. Diaz flied to center, grounded out, single to left. Big swing and a miss. The squeeze play went down the drain Friday night. Matt Morris tried to squeeze in Grassolonic, but he missed the pitch, and Grassolonic was nailed easily. But this time Luna got the bunt down, and Grassolonic scores easily. Well, it's all over in San Diego. They lose another. They have now lost 12 out of 13. As the Reds beat the Padres 7-1. Diaz goes down the drain, but the Cardinals get a big run and lead 5-2. 5-2 St. Louis. You know, friends, the Dodgers have 3 great new value ticket plans, so you can save big. There's a brand new 5-game or 6-game plan for games in August and September. You can save up to 50% off the box office price. Enjoy the rest of the summer at the ballpark with the Toyota weekend, the New Era weekend plan, or the Farmer John 6-pack. So visit Dodgers.com or give us a call 1-866-DODGERS for specific games and savings. The Western Division is a mess, but you know what? It's going to be a fun mess in September. The Dodgers, the Padres, and now the first place Arizona D-backs, not to mention a possible move by the Giants. However, today, Milwaukee ruined the Giants' plans, but they're still only 5.5 games out. Yeah, the Hats are cockeyed in the Western Division. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Julian Tavares, 32-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. And he'll be facing Kent, Signs, and Valentin. And hammered to left. Going back on the ball is Rodriguez to make the catch. So Kent, first ball swinging, lines out to John Rodriguez. One away. And looking at Tavares, the veteran's work against the Dodgers, Kent had a home run against him. Signs 0 for 4 against him. Valentin 2 for 9. Signs today struck out, grounded out, and walked 0 for 2. Strike. Tavares might be a cool customer, but he has a hot head. Even as a little kid, he was in a lot of fights in the Dominican Republic. Tavares, as a kid, got a nickname of Yo-Yo. Foul back. As he said, he was wild. He got into a lot of fights, and somebody said, "You got a yo-yo head," and it stuck. He said he never had much of a reason to fight. He'd fight over a piece of bread, a mango, a little banana. He just has a hot temper. JT, Julian Tavares. And the fighting for a boy who is the 8th child from a poverty-stricken family. In fact, he said his birth took place in his dirt floor home, not in a hospital. So he's battled all his life. 1-2. Two and 2. Olmedo Signs hitting .287, 10 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Tavares was suspended for 5 games in the American League. That's a long time ago, 9 years ago. Albert Bell kind of stiff-armed Fernando Vina, and a brawl followed. And Tavares threw a fastball behind Mike Matheny, who was then with Milwaukee. That's a base hit to the gap, going to the wall, and Olmedo Signs will jog into second with a double. So he's 1 for 3. And the batter, Jose Valentin. So Tavares gives up a hit. Reyes worked an inning and a third and gave up 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Down in the bullpen, left-hander Ray King begins to loosen up. The only hitters the Dodgers have left in the dugout are right-hand batters, Jason Phillips and Mike Edwards. Dodgers do not have any other left-hand batters, but they get King up anyway. So here's Valentin, grounded out and singled twice. Both times against Mulder. Ball 1. So Jose, who is kind of a switch hitter, he picks his spots when he's going to bat which way. And against Mulder, he stayed left-handed, and it paid off. Jose missed 78 games after wrecking his knee sliding into home plate here. 1-1. Last year, Valentin had 30 home runs. And to repeat, Paul DePodesta with Bradley back. Now Valentin coming back with Diona Navarro and Jonathan Broxton. That's better than anything he could have gotten in the open trade market. But remember, that's the non-waiver era. That's a strike. From now into August, players can certainly be put on waivers and can be picked up. But it's not as if it's the end of the change of personnel. One and 2. just off the plate, 2-2. So it's been Mulder, Reyes, and now Tavares. Dodgers with Perez, Sanchez, and Schmoll. Dodgers led 1-0. Grassolonic hit a 3-run home run. Birds led 3-1, then 3-2, then 4-2, and now 5-2. Foul ball, fastball, and went right through the gate into the Cardinal dugout. And it went in there in a hurry, too. Retrieving the ball, Jason Marquis. You wouldn't think he'd want to touch a ball. The other night he pitched in San Diego, made something like 130 pitches, if I remember. Chopper hard, but stand with it as Pujols. Albert to the bag. On the play, Signs takes third. And with 2 out, here comes Diana Navarro. You talk about the maturation of a young ball player. You can look in the 5th inning. There was Diana Navarro with a runner at first and nobody out. At the time it was 3-1 Cardinals. With Navarro coming up, that's going to be all for Tavares. I think they're going down to the pen. Ray King's been down there. Anyway, Navarro was up there. It was a 12-pitch at bat, and Navarro walked against a very successful left-hander. So Tavares is coming out, and we'll be back. 5-2 Cardinals, bottom of the 8th inning. The Dodgers have a runner at third with 2 out. Diana Navarro will be facing the veteran Ray King. King is 31 years old, out of Chicago, lives over in Phoenix, was originally drafted by the Reds, came up to the Cubs, spent 3 years with the Brewers. He spent a year with the Braves, and then he was with the Cardinals last year. He is, let's say, on the stocky side. He is 6'1", at least 235 pounds. But to quote Ray King, I don't consider myself fat. I'm thick. Well, thick or fat, he's been very successful. And as King comes in, La Russa with confidence, taking out Tavares, a right-hand pitcher, to face Navarro. Ray King is 2-2 with an earned run average of 2. Navarro stays batting right-handed, and that, of course, is why La Russa brought him in. He did not want Tavares to face Navarro batting left-handed. The 3 hits that Navarro has in the big leagues, all batting left-handed. Although he's done well enough, he walked twice today, and now trying to pick up Signs from third with 2 out. Strike. 0-1. Ray King signed a 2-year deal with the Cardinals in December of 2004. So that assures him a job for next year, and there's an option for 2007. In the dirt, nice save by Einar Diaz. King does not have a wild pitch. So Signs holding at third with 2 out. Ricky Leday on deck. Although I don't know his cap size, they say that Ray King has an unusually large head. Might even be as large as San Diego manager Bruce Bochy. Ball 2. For years, I think, when the discussion of cap size is concerned, Bochy always wins the award, but Ray might be very close. Two and 1. Diana Navarro. Ball 3. King, and if you're a father of a picky eater, you'll understand Ray King. He said, I don't really like vegetables, but I've got a little girl and I'm trying to make her eat vegetables so you can finish it out. He's eating a lot of vegetables. 3-1 to Diona Navarro. And hammered but foul down the line. So 3-2. Ray King has allowed 2 home runs this year. King fastball and slider. He's experimented with a splitter in the past. He also talked over throwing a cutter when he was with the Braves. Talked over with John Smoltz and Greg Maddux. 3-2 the count. And ball 4. What a day for young Diona Navarro. He has battled his pitchers and he has walked twice and now a 3rd time. Walked twice against Mulder.
Right fielder Ricky Leday.
So 1st and 3rd, 2 out, and here comes Ricky Leday with another big at bat. Leday batted for Perez, who was announced to bat for Repco, and Leday, with 2 out and the bases loaded, struck out. That was against Al Reyes. Now 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Signs at 3rd, Navarro at 1st, and Ricky with a 2nd shot. And a high fly ball into deep right center. Back goes Mabry at the wall. Gone to tie up the game. So Ricky Leday, who was denied in the 6th inning when he struck out, takes Ray King downtown to tie up the game 5-5. And of course, for Ricky Leday, you remember the other night he hit a 3-run home run in the 1st inning against Matt Morris. So Ray King is welcome to the Leday club, and La Russa sees a 5-2 lead go down the drain. And now Mike Edwards will come up and bat for Steve Schmoll. So Ricky Leday hits his 4th home run of the year, 23 RBIs, and now Ray King is on his own facing Mike Edwards. So La Russa, under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, fly ball to right. Mabry a long way to come, but he's there, and that's the 3rd out, but not before Leday hits the big home run, and the Dodgers have tied it. And a heads-up bow to the kid, Diona Navarro, who was aboard again on a walk and scored the run ahead of Leday. 5-5. We have a 5-5 tie as we go to the 9th inning. Scott Siebel will be coming up to bat against Yancy Brazoban, and the game tied on the late dramatics of Ricky Leday. So Leday struck out with the bases loaded and unloads a home run with 2 on to tie up the game. Scott Siebel out of McKeesport, Pennsylvania. He was a draft pick by the Yankees, 88th round 9 years ago. Went to school at West Virginia. So he had worked his way hard, briefly had a cup of coffee, 1 at bat with the Yankees, and that was it. And then came up this year, foul back, and that got plate umpire Sam Holbrook. 0-1 to count. Siebel, 30 years old. And he can play anywhere on the infield, all the way around, first, second, short, third. Yancy Brazoban. Right. Brazoban notched his 20th save Friday night. He leads all rookies in that category. And his name joins some illustrious Dodger relievers with 20 or more saves in a season. 0-1. I mean, we're talking Ron Peronowski, Phil Regan, Jim Brewer, Mike Marshall, Charlie Huff, Terry Forster, Jay Howell, Jim Gott, Todd Worrell, Jeff Shaw, and of course Eric Gagne. 1-2. So down goes Siebel. So 1 out in the 9th inning. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, as a high fastball just blows away Siebel. It'll be Cesar Izturis, Oscar Robles, and Milton Bradley. And if anybody gets on, Jeff Kent. Dodgers have Jason Phillips in the dugout. And that's it. Abraham Nunez turning around to hit left-handed. Grounded to third, single to left, grounded to short, and walked. So 5-5 in the 9th. Foul back. Dodgers led 1-0. Cardinals led 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, and Leday with that 3-run home run evens it up 5-5. Jose Valentin is back, and the Dodgers delighted. He's 2 for 4 today. A couple of singles. That's a strike. Nunez can't believe it. Abraham thought it was outside. 1-2. Five runs, 6 hits for the Cardinals. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 2-2. Of course, the lineup has changed. Remember, Taguchi is not in the game. Jim Edmonds is on deck. Remember, he pinch hit a double and stayed in. So after Nunez, you get Edmonds and Pujols. And line drive, base hit. So Abraham Nunez comes up with his second hit. He's been on base 3 times, 2 hits and a walk. Boy, he has done so well for St. Louis.
Center fielder, Jim Edmonds.
And now here comes Jim Edmonds. Edmonds doubled to right to score Diaz in the 7th inning. And then they walked Pujols intentionally. So Albert will be coming up after Edmonds. He's got himself a bat and a helmet. Edmonds hitting .266, 19 home runs, 62 runs batted in. Off the rubber. You don't expect Nunez to do any running. He doesn't have a stolen base. And Edmonds, a high fly ball to left center. Going back is Bradley at the wall, but it is Valentin to make the catch. And back to first goes Nunez. So as we said, the center fielder is the captain, and Bradley was sprinting over, but Valentin had a bead on it all the way and was not about to let it go. So Valentin, a nice play out there in left center. He's going to catch it down around the belt buckle. And now Albert Pujols with 2 out and Nunez at first. Pujols 0 for 1 against Brazoban. 2 out in the 9th, 5-5. Pujols has 28 home runs, 84 runs batted in, And Brazoban, in case you wonder, has allowed 7 home runs in 42 innings. Nunez at first, 2 out. 5-5 in the 9th. Ball 2. Hitting back of Pujols, John Mabry, who got into the game as a pinch hitter and grounded out and then stayed in. 5-5 in the 9th. Dodgers got off the floor in the bottom of the 8th. 3-run home run by Ricky Leday. 2-0. And that's popped up. Down the line, coming in and over is Leday, and Ricky puts it away. So the Dodgers negotiate their way through the top of the 9th, and now last call is Turris, Robles, and Bradley, all even 5-5.
Attention, please.
Bottom of the 9th inning in a 5-5 tie. Trainer Stan Johnson talking to Ricky Leday, and no doubt Ricky talking about the home run took the Dodgers off the mat. After striking out with the bases loaded, he hits a 3-run home run against Ray King to tie it up. And although he will get a headline, and he certainly deserves it, you know, the guy who also deserves part of it is Dioner Navarro. That kid, the 21-year-old catcher, walked twice against Mark Mulder, and one of them a 12-pitch at bat. And with 2 out and a runner at third, Navarro battled and got a walk, and that allowed Leday to come up and hit the home run. So young Dioner Navarro has done a great job, although at first glance you look at a box score, he's 0 for 1. All right, Cesar Izturis against Cal Eldred. Izturis today is 2 for 4, doubled and singled, hitting .269. Dodgers saw Eldred Friday night in the 8th inning. That's a strike. In the 8th inning Friday night, Izturis grounded out against Eldred. 1 ball, 1 strike. Robles on deck. A drag bunt. Eldred, in fact, Diaz makes a high throw. So Eldred and Diaz converging, and Diaz trying to get the ball to Pujols, threw it high, and the Dodgers have the winning run at first. Tough bunt. Diaz bare hands, fires over the head of Izturis and over the head of Pujols. So it'll be a bunt single for Izturis, his 3rd hit. Now Robles up there. Robles has walked, lined out, hit back to the box and flied to center. The Cardinals are convinced that Robles will bunt. They have Luna well in on the grass. The outfield on Robles split. Big gap between Rodriguez and Edmonds in left center. He shows bunt. Ball 1. So Cal Eldred, the big guy out of Iowa, no record in his 15th game, and a fine earned run average of 1.1. 1-0 to Robles. Did he? They're going to check. No. So 2-0 the count. Eldred, been around. 38 years old, out of Cedar Rapids, lives over in Chandler, and went to the University of Iowa. Remember that song, All I Owe, Iowa? Well, Cal has a big farm in Urbana. He's 6'4", about 235. Einar Diaz talking to Sam Holbrook. I think that's what they want. I think they wanted a new ball, and LaRusse is coming out. Either Holbrook did not want to throw it out, or they were asking him to throw it out, and Eldred maybe, well, let's see, Eldred has a new ball. Jim Coburn has the ball that Holbrook threw out. Eldred quite annoyed as he shows the ball again to Sam Holbrook. I don't believe the plate umpire is accusing him of doctoring the ball, because then it'd be an ejection. Al Raboski is here, or was, broadcasting Cardinal games back to St. Louis. I don't know if you were here that night or what. The night that Al Raboski came in to pitch to Davy Lopes, and they started playing games with each other. After a while, Raboski would roll the ball to the umpire, and the umpire would roll the ball back to Raboski. It was wild. All right, we're ready. 2-0. Ball 3. Old ball or new, Eldredge having his problems. The Dodgers have received 7 walks today. And LaRusse is angry at Sam Holbrook's strike zone. 7 walks and 8 hits. And that's ball 4. So a bunt, single, and a walk. LaRusse has to be fit to be tied. The walk by Eldred now means 8 walks. Dave Duncan has gone out to talk to Eldred, who's obviously upset over the ball that either he wanted changed or the umpire threw out, whatever. So Milton Bradley is coming up. 2 on and nobody out. Has Bradley bunted this year for a sacrifice? Yes, twice. Although I think of the 2, at least 1 he was bunting for a base hit. So the Cardinals unhappy anyway. They blow a 5-2 lead in the 8th inning. Now in danger of losing the game in the 9th. They've used Mulder, Reyes, Tavares, King, and Eldred. So Bradley, Kent, and Signs trying to win it. 44,543. Taken in the last game of the Brave homestand. San Diego lost, Arizona won. And Bradley bunts on the chalk foul. Cincinnati beat San Diego 7-1. Arizona beat the Cubs 13-6. So Arizona will go into first place. No balls and 1 strike to Milton Bradley. Bradley around to bunt, and it's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball and 1 strike is Turris and Robles, and the bunt is down. The play is to first. So the Dodgers now have 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, with first base open. Jeff Kent coming up, and Kent against Eldred was 4 for 9 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. So you would expect them to walk him intentionally, but we'll see. We're watching Diaz. On deck, Olmedo signs, and they will walk Kent, of course. So the Dodgers get 2 walks from Eldred. 9 walks in the game for the Dodgers. 9 walks and 8 hits. Remember when you were a kid, you'd be hollering to the hitter ahead of you, a walk's as good as a hit? So in a moment, the Dodgers will have the bases loaded with 1 out, and Olmedo Signs coming up. 1 out. So a bunt and a couple of walks. Bradley does his job getting his men over with the bunt. And now La Russa, who was in the comfort zone of an 8.5 game lead, and Houston lost today, so he might not be nearly as upset if he had a shorter lead. Certainly has to be annoyed at his pitchers and the plate umpire Sam Holbrook. Cardinal pitchers giving the Dodgers a total of 9 base on balls. So here is Signs with a chance to win it. Struck out, grounded out, walked, and doubled. And he was aboard when Leday hit the home run. Infield double play depth. That's a strike. Trying to cover all the bases. Olmedo Signs has grounded into 7 double plays. You have Izturis and Robles and Kent. 1 out. Foul back. 0-2. On deck, following Signs, who needs a new bat, Jose Valentin. So the Cardinals, the only National League team to have a winning record on the road, and they're 14 games above 500, but they're hurting right now. 0-2 to Signs. And a ground ball to short. They get 1. There it is, a double play. So Signs hits into the double play, and the Dodgers come up empty in the 9th inning. And at the end of 9, a 5-5 tie. We go to the 10th inning, 5-5. John Mabry at the plate, pops it in the air, foul off third. Robles over to take a look, but that's all. John Mabry came in as a pinch hitter for John Gall in the 7th inning and grounded out. 0 for 1. For St. Louis, with that winning road record, this is the first time they've been pressed for an extra inning game on the road. They won 4 out of 6 at home. For the Dodgers, this is their 2nd extra inning game at home. They're 5-2 overall, and they lost the extra inning game that was played here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good fastball, up at 94, and the count 1-2. So Perez and Sanchez and Schmoll, Mulder, Reyes, Tavares, and King, no record. It's up to Brazoban and Eldred. Fouled away. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays against the Dodgers today. Cardinals have turned 122 double plays. I mean, they have really been something. Wow. Two and two to Mabry, then Grassolonic and Rodriguez. Foul back. So the Dodgers have received 9 walks. Perez and company have given 4 walks. And of those 4 walks, the Cardinals cashed in 2 of the 4. Where all the walks that the Dodgers have received, only 1 scored, and that was Navarro on that great at bat that preceded Leday's 3-run home run. 3-2. So Yancy Brazoban who retired the side in the 9th inning after giving up a single to Nunez. Got Edmonds and Pujols now facing Mabry, Grassolonic, and Rodriguez. Three and two. So Mabry strikes out, 1 out in the 10th inning. This extra inning game is brought to you by new Gatorade Endurance Formula. This unique formula helps you keep playing during your longer, more punishing activities. New Gatorade Endurance Formula. 1 out in the 10th. Second strikeout for Brazoban. He nailed Siebel in the 9th. And here's Grassolonic, who has played a great part of this game. Grassolonic hit a 3-run home run in the 4th inning after making a great relay throw to nail Izturis at third in the 3rd inning. Then in the 8th inning, Grassolonic doubled and scored what appeared to be a huge run. And this time a fly ball into left center. Bradley trying to run it down. It's going to bounce against the wall. And Grassolonic, having an outstanding game, comes up with his 3rd hit and his 2nd double. So Mark goes down to get it and hits it over Bradley's head. Short hops the wall. And the batter will be John Rodriguez, left-hand batter. Rodriguez walked and struck out, grounded out and sacrificed. The kid from New York, whose uncle asked the security officer at Yankee Stadium if he could get him a tryout. He tried out, hit some home runs, and they forgot about him. And then later, when looking for him, found him, signed him, started with the Yankee Rookie Club, spent 8.5 years in the minors and playing in the series, brought up from Memphis. So while he gets the intentional walk, they'll go after the right-hand hitter, Hector Luna. In the Cardinal dugout, they have Mike Mahoney, the other catcher. He's always the last man to be used, just like Jason Phillips. David Eckstein is also left, and Jason Isringhausen is down in the pen as Mahoney looking at an imaginary pitch in the dugout.
Hector Luna.
So Hector Luna. He is fly to center, grounded to short, fly to center again, and in the 8th inning squeezed in Grassolonic. 2 on, 1 out. After Luna, the catcher, Einar Diaz. Ball 1. Luna hitting .235. Hasn't played much. He has 4 RBIs. Only had 30 some odd at bats. And that's low, ball 2. So Mabry struck out. Grassolonic doubles. Rodriguez walked intentionally. And Luna trying to pick up Grud. And ball 3. So now Brazoban is in some trouble. 1 pitch away from loading him up. Tracy had his spot. He had signs with the bases loaded in the 9th, only to have Olmedo ground into his 8th double play to end the threat. And ball 4. I don't have any stats on it, but over the years, you always have the feeling that when a pitcher is asked to give an intentional walk, so against all of his training as far as not to throw strikes, in many times it takes something away from the pitcher. So Brazoban, after walking Rodriguez intentionally, couldn't even throw a strike to Luna. So the batter will be Einer Diaz. Fly to center, grounded to third, single to left, and scored on Edmonds' double and struck out. So Diaz playing today after we saw Mahoney. Diaz in 36 games hitting .209. All right, Kobe has had his say.
For the Cardinals, catcher Einer Diaz.
On deck, getting ready, David Eckstein, who surprised everybody with a 3-run home run yesterday. Diaz from Panama, so he would like to trump Olmedo Signs. The Dodgers shorten up the infield. 1 out, bases loaded. 5-5 in the 10th. And a strike. Diaz can't believe it. .510, a good 200 pounds. And he really fulfills the definition of broad-shouldered. 0-1. Dodgers about halfway in the infield. Outfield fairly shallow. And a hard ground ball to short. The feed for 1. Double play. So they don't have much to talk about in Panama. Signs hits into a double play in the 9th, and Diaz grounds into a double play in the 10th, and we're heading for the bottom of the 10th in a 5-5 tie. 5-5 in the 10th inning, and the pride of Panama has been stung. First it was Olmedo Signs, ground ball to short, and the Cardinals turn the double play. And then another son of Panama, Einer Diaz, same spot, same way, 6-4-3. So we go to the bottom of the 10th inning in a 5-5 tie. Jose Valentin, Diona Navarro, and then Ricky Leday. That's a strike to Jose. Valentin is grounded out, single twice, grounded out again. We've had 16 base on balls today. Dodger pitchers have given up 7 and the Cardinals 9. That's pop foul. Luna coming over. Hoping the ball will come back, but it will stay in. So 0-2 the count. Dodgers led 1-0. Cardinals led 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. Leday hit a 3-run home run to tie it up in the bottom of the 8th. Each side has had a chance to win it, and here we are in the bottom of the 10th. Valentin way out in front of the off-speed pitch. Good changeup. 1 down.
Catcher Diona Navarro.
Diona Navarro. If you just pick up the morning paper and you see he's 0 for 1, it doesn't mean anything. But if you watch the game, he has had some rather remarkable at-bats. For a 21-year-old to exercise patience and plate discipline, he walked on 12 pitches when he battled Mulder. Then he walked in the 6th inning against Mulder. And then in the 8th inning, he got the big walk. And that was followed by Leday's 2-out, 3-run home run. So if Diona does not give Leday the opportunity, the Dodgers probably lose. So he has really shown the Dodgers something today. Even though if you look in the box score, you see 0 for 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Navarro 3 for 7 prior to today, and all 3 hitting left-handed, which is why Tavares stayed in, and then they brought in King to turn him and make him hit right-handed, and he drew the walk. And they thought they were okay with King going against Leday, and Ricky hit it out. So Eldred goes 1-2 to Navarro. And a hopper to the right side, right at Grassolonic. So 2 down here in the 10th inning. And Ricky Leday, who really rides the elevator of emotions. In the 8th inning, he hit the big home run, upsetting Ray King and tying up the game. But back in the 6th inning was another story. He came up with the bases loaded in the 6th inning and 2 out and struck out. So the life of the big leaguer, the ups and the downs, strike out with the bases loaded, and a big 3-run game-tying home run in the 8th. Ball 1. Ricky hitting .280, 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. One ball and no strikes. That's a strike. Brazoban, one way or another, is not going to pitch anymore if they can help it. So Jason Phillips, the last of the Mohicans, out on deck. Wilson Alvarez in the pen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Time. Ball 2. Jason Phillips, the other catcher, first baseman, and the last card that Jim Tracy has to play. La Russa still has David Eckstein and his other catcher, Mike Mahoney. Eckstein was close to getting in early, so we'll see. Eldred is due to lead off if there is an 11th inning. And good eye. Leday draws the walk. So with 2 out, the Dodgers get yet another walk. Eldred has walked 3, King walked 1, Reyes walked 1, and Mulder walked 5. Altogether, 10 base on balls given to the Dodgers today. And now Phillips off the bench to hit for Brazoban. Dodgers have used as pinch hitters Edwards, Choi, Perez, Leday, and now Phillips. Jason hitting .240, 8 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Boy, deep in left field is John Rodriguez. He's maybe 5 feet from the warning track, fouled away. So in other words, the one thing the Cardinals don't want is a ball to be hit over the heads of an outfielder. So Rodriguez 5 feet from the track, Edmonds very deep in center, and Mabry very, very deep in right. So they'll give a base hit. 0-1. 1-1. Jason with 46 runs batted in, 8 home runs. Phillips 0 for 1 in the past against Eldred. Pretty good over the top breaking ball. 1-2. When Eldred pitched the 8th inning the other night, Phillips led off and flied out against him. So Jason checking with Glenn Hoffman. Leday at first, 2 out. Leday does not have a stolen base. Remember, he had surgery on a hamstring in his career, had a bad hamstring again this year. Fastball, and he just did get a little of it. So from the slow curve to a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count to Jason 1-2. Cal Eldred, big farmer out of Iowa. Breaking ball hit foul outside of third, and the battle continues. Talking about Eldred being a big farmer, he is. He has a farm in Urbana, Iowa, and it is a farm to fulfill the definition: hogs, cattle, corn, soybeans. One and two to Jason. Fouled away. Yeah, it's you're fighting that sun, and you got a glove for shade and a cell phone, and more importantly, you have your son in your lap. If you're in the shade, it's a whole different world. 1 and 2 to Jason Phillips. Breaking ball, line drive, foul. Got a curveball up, very dangerous pitch, and Phillips jumped on it, pulled it too much. So Eldred dodged one that time. So a big battle here with 2 out, bottom of the 10th, in a 5-5 tie. Leday at first. Foul ball. So Jason Phillips hacking away on 8 pitches, and Dave Duncan going out to talk to Eldred and Einer Diaz. I'm sure one thing Duncan didn't like was that 75-mile-an-hour big over-the-top curveball that Phillips ripped but foul. So Leday at first, held on by Pujols. 2 out, 5-5 in the 10th. 1 and 2 to Jason Phillips. Fastball, did he swing? Yes. I'd almost bet that's what Duncan did. Go out and say, hey, forget that curveball, go with a little heat. And he strikes out Phillips, and we're still 5-5 as we head to the 11th inning. Couple of changes. Olmedo Signs goes from first base to third base. Jason Phillips, who batted for Yancy Brazaban, will stay in the game and play first base. And the Dodgers go to the veteran Wilson Alvarez. So Tony La Russa goes to David Eckstein. Eckstein, who had that home run yesterday, hitting .271. That home run yesterday gave him 3 with 32 RBIs. And Wilson Alvarez ready to pitch against him. Right. Eckstein 1 for 3 in the past against Alvarez. David hit the home run against Gio Carrara. So Eckstein, Nunez, and Edmonds. 1-1. Eckstein, or Eck as they call him, doesn't give him much of a strike zone. He's 5'6". And hits a high foul ball down the left field line, back in the lower deck. David Eckstein, among other accomplishments, is the co-author of a children's book called Have Heart, a story of how he beat the odds. Foul the other way. Believe it or not, when Topps made a baseball card for David Eckstein in 2004, it had the picture of Adam Kennedy on it and not David. Didn't bother him at all. 1-2. went to the University of Florida. 2-2. Eckstein was a political science major and a GTE academic All-American. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a fly ball to right center. Leday looks to Bradley, and Bradley is there. So 1 out in the 11th inning. And the batter, Abraham Nunez.
Shortstop, Abraham Nunez.
Nunez, a switch hitter, so he'll go back to hitting right-handed against Alvarez. Nunez today, 2 singles and a walk. 2 for 4, been on base 3 times, but as a leadoff man, has failed to score. Fastball strike. 5 runs, 8 hits for each side. Cardinals with 1 error. That was Abraham Nunez on a cutoff throw. Little things mean a lot. Nunez mishandling the cutoff throw, and that allowed Valentin to score. And of course, here we are locked in 5-5 in the 11th inning. That occurred way back in the 5th. 1-1 to Abraham, hitting .324. Last year, a pinch hitter deluxe for the Pirates, but he's been more than that for the Cardinals since Roland's been banged up. 2-1. Ball 3. So Nunez trying to get aboard for the 4th time, and Jim Edmonds on deck. Edmonds 6 for 22 against Alvarez. Three and 1. And ball 4. So another walk. The Dodgers have given the Cardinals 8 walks, and the Cardinals have given the Dodgers 10 walks, much to the indigestion of Tony La Russa. So it's more like an exhibition game to see 18 walks on the last day of July. Well, here's Edmonds now. Pinch hitter for Taguchi, double to right in the 7th inning to drive in a run, and then stayed in the game and flied to left in the 9th. Ball 1. Perez, Sanchez, Schmoll, Brazoban, and Alvarez. Mulder, Reyes, Tavares, King, and Eldred. 1-0. On deck, Albert Pujols. Ball 2. Edmonds, by the way, just like Signs, we looked it up for you. Edmonds has not grounded into a double play this year. Signs has. Diaz has. Kent has. Foul back. 2-1. So the point being, of course, if Edmonds does not hit into a double play, the Dodgers will have to look at Pujols. 2-1 to Jim. 5-5, top of the 11th. At first base, Abraham Nunez, held on by Phillips. Jim Edmonds, a remarkable hitter. 19 home runs, has always had the ability to hit them out, but he strikes out a lot. 94 times. And Pujols waits. 2-2. Edmonds rested today, at least at the start of the game. He had been in 90, though he had missed 13 games up to here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Nunez at first. Ball 3. Well, now let's see what La Russa does. I mean, the one thing that Tony wants to do is to get Pujols up there at the plate. He has a free swinger in Edmonds and a 3-2 count. So we'll see what he decides about Nunez, whether he's going to run him or not. Nunez not going, and a high fly ball into deep left center field and gone. So Jim Edmonds, feast or famine, hits it in the seats. And just like that, the Cardinals take a 7-5 lead. Edmonds' 20th home run, his second home run in the series. He hit one against Derek Lowe. And so Alvarez is really burned, and here comes Jim Tracy to go back to the bullpen. But he had it set. And Edmonds takes a 3-2 pitch into the bleachers. So Edmonds got into half a game and has driven in 3. Gio Carrara, who knows what it's like to be on the bitter end of a home run, will be coming in, and we'll be back. Larry Walker talking to Jim Edmonds about that home run into the left center field bleachers following the walk to Nunez that also sent Wilson Alvarez back. And so now Gio Carrara comes in with a 6-4 record, and he'll face Albert Pujols. Pujols just 1 for 7 against Gio, but the one was a home run. So Pujols checking in. 7-5 Cardinals. Slider away, ball 1, 1-0. So right now the pitchers of record are Eldred and Alvarez. Pujols hitting .344, has walked twice. He's 1 for 3. Another slider away. 2-0. On deck, John Mabry. Seven runs, 9 hits for the Cardinals, 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, and that's popped in the air. Foul, should go out of play. The owner comes over to take a look, but it's well back into the stands. 44,543 came out, and they have seen quite a game. Dodgers led 1-0, Cardinals led 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. Then Ricky Leday hit a 3-run home run to tie it up 5-5. Only Jim Edmonds comes up in the 11th and pops one out, and the Birds are out in front 7-5. Pujols a big swing and a foul. So Perez, Sanchez, and Schmoll, Brazoban, Alvarez, and Carrara. And 5 pitchers for the Cardinals. Mulder, Reyes, Tavares, King, and Eldred, and you would assume Jason Isringhausen would make an appearance in the bottom of this 11th inning. We'll see. Got him off speed, and Pujols goes down. However, only the second out, and John Mabry coming up. Bottom dropped out of that breaking ball. Mabry got into the game batting for Gall, grounded out, then struck out in the 10th, and here he is in the 11th. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 11th is Turris and Bradley. Dodgers have used their bench. One 1-0. Fastball fouled away, 1-1. Dodgers will go to Washington, D.C. for the first time in 40 years. Back in 1965, when the Senators were still there, the Dodgers played a couple of exhibition games in Washington. They'll begin the road trip Tuesday with the Nationals. Chopper foul. 1-2. Gio working in a lot of games. Carrara is in his 49th game. One and two. 2-2. Mabry with Grassolonic on deck. And ball 3. Seven runs, 9 hits for the Cardinals. They got a 3-run home run from Grassolonic and a 2-run home run from Jim Edmonds. Dodgers got a 3-run home run from Ricky Leday. That's going foul. Fastball in, still 3-2. And a big curveball miss, so Mabry's aboard with yet another walk. 9 walks given up by Dodger pitchers. Cardinals have given up 10 walks. So we've had 19 base on balls so far today. And here's Mark Grassolonic, and what a game he's had. A 3-run home run, 2 doubles, scored 1 other time, and made a great play on the relay to cut down his Turris in the 3rd inning. Ball 1. For good measure, he turned a double play in the 10th inning. Two times they got him today. Grounded to third, flied to left. 1 ball and no strikes. Foul back. 1-1. Grassolonic batting .288. Facing Gio Carrara. Grassolonic went to Howard Junior College in Texas. You never heard of it, but it has a great baseball program. Slicing foul ball out of play, so Mark is still there, 1-2. So for Gio Carrara, relieving Wilson Alvarez, who walked Nunez and then gave up the home run to Edmonds. The Dodgers have used them all today, and the Cardinals have only Mike Mahoney, the backup catcher. Breaking ball lifted to right field. Leday is there. Okay, last out, top of the 11th inning. But one swing of the bat by Jim Edmonds with Abraham Nunez aboard, and the Cardinals have taken a 7-5 lead. We go to the bottom of the 11th inning. Jim Edmonds hits a 2-run home run to give the Cardinals a 7-5 lead. Hector Luna, who has spent the game at third base, is now out in right field, so that's the reason why Edmonds ran over to talk to Luna about the setting sun. David Eckstein is at shortstop for Abraham Nunez. And Jason Isringhausen, they've called him Izzy since he was in the 2nd grade. And Izzy is 33 years old come the 7th of September. Went to Lewis and Clark Junior College from Brighton, Illinois. He was on the DL earlier this year, straining an oblique on the left side. That's a strike to Izturis, in his leadoff role, has been on base 3 times but has not scored. Ground ball to Pujols, and 1 out in the 11th. Now the Dodgers use the entire bench, so a pitcher is going to have to hit in the 2nd slot, and it'll be Jeff Weaver coming up to bat for Gio Carrara. When Jason Phillips came up in the 10th inning, he was the last of the Mohegans, with apologies to James Fenimore Cooper, and here comes Weaver. Jeff Weaver this year is hitting .238. This will be his first appearance as a pinch hitter. He has 10 hits and 4 runs batted in. So Weaver hits against Isringhausen with 1 out in the 11th. 7-5 St. Louis. Strike. So the Dodgers won game 1 with 7 runs. Cardinals came back to beat them yesterday with 9. And now the Cardinals lead 7-5. 0-2 to Jeff Weaver. As a starting pitcher, when Weaver has a chance, he has struck out about 25% of the time. Not bad at all. Isringhausen ready to put him away, and does just that. So down goes Weaver, and the Dodgers down to their last out, and Milton Bradley coming up.
Center fielder Milton Bradley.
Milton Bradley today struck out, grounded out, walked, struck out again, and sacrificed. So he's 0 for 3. Fastball strike. Bradley has not faced Isringhausen, but he has a good look at him now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball dropped in a beauty. 1-2. Isringhausen is another big guy. 6'3" and 230. He has to be big to carry that last name on the back of his shirt. Fastball fouled away. Game started a little more than 4 hours ago, and boy, there's been a lot going on. 1-0 Dodgers, 3-1 Cardinals, 3-2 Cardinals, 4-2, 5-2 Cardinals. Then the Dodgers tied it. Now it's 7-5 Cardinals, bottom of the 11th, 2 out, 1-2 the count. And a good half of the crowd of 44,000 on their way home, and that's in the dirt. So Bradley trying to get aboard. Jeff Kent on deck. Jeff Kent against Isringhausen, 2 for 8. So Bradley trying to save him a lick, as we used to say. Got it. And so in a game filled with bases on balls, the last 2 outs are strikeouts. We'll make it plural today. The players of the game: Mark Grassolonic, with 2 doubles and a 3-run home run, scored twice to knock in 3. Jim Edmonds had a double and a 2-run home run, so he scored once to knock in 3, and they both deservedly get the honors as players of the game. So the Dodgers, who are 10 games under 500 on the road, slip 1 game under 500 at home. And the next time they'll be back will be the 9th, Tuesday, August the 9th, with Philadelphia followed by the New York Mets. Once again, the final score in 11 innings, Cardinals 7, Dodgers 5. Just a reminder, for Dodger postgame coverage and all the day's sports news, watch the SCSRs tonight at 10. And now this is Vin Scully saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Good afternoon, everybody.